Yo, how's it going tonight?
Let's introduce our guest, Lev, a.k.a. Since Juleye. What's good, dog?
What's up, man? Thank you guys for having me. This shit's, I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Austin was just talking about how he's about to shit his pants because he's so nervous.
I've never been in front of a camera before. I don't know how to react. what should
I don't even think you're in front
what
of
should
the
I
camera,
do with my
'cause the way this
hands?
shit goes, like, I'm not even
He's kind of blocked by you. You're kind of, you have a presence.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Should my hands be like this?
Austin doesn't even know where to hold his hands.
If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you. What a great way to start it out.
Yeah, indeed. You know, let's not even talk about you or your music or anything. Let's just talk about
I'll do
Big
movie
Red Gum.
quotes all fucking day if you guys want to do that shit. I'm proficient in that.
Dude, we have a list of movies right now that is getting... Every time we think of an amazing movie, we just add it to the list, and it's getting epic.
It's so
like,
long.
It's become a long list. It's on my phone that we're using to film right now, so I actually can't, tell it to you guys, but we'll eventually...
It's going to be the greatest list of movies all time.
Of all time.
Like, as far as what? Like, just the greatest
just
movies
awesome.
that you
Every
like?
time we think of... Yeah, just that we like,
Yeah.
So every time we, want to watch a movie, we reference this master list. And it's
Anytime
just...
you think
I feel
of
like there could probably has been a movie about that.
Oh my God, that would be a good...
The List. Or something. It could be called The List.
I think we'd sell that to a producer.
Oh, fuck, you can sell it to Netflix all day. They'll put anything on. They'll just won't pay you shit. And if it hits, they'll be like, we got you. You want to do the sequel? And we got you like a couple bucks.
Netflix, you're greenlighted. Have you seen that, South Park?
Yeah. They'll give anybody some shit because it's so easy to make a show now that there's not a big risk. They're like, all right, this will cost like $10,000. And then if you make and make money, they'll be like, all right, we'll give you money for like the 4th or 5th season.
if you're successful.
It's like, here's $5,000 for your show. All right, fuck it.
Are you a connoisseur of music? Or do you like
of what?
What kind of movies?
Do you
do
say
like
music or movies?
Of music?
I said movies.
I like
Sorry,
music
I'm
too.
stumbling.
You mean like the music in movies?
You're not going to be able to get
Or
any,
Hi.
anytime we say a word that makes us sound like a dummy, we all have to call each other out for it because it's just funny.
I wouldn't say I'm
stoned.
a huge connoisseur of movies. I mean, I like to watch movies and shit, but I think I'm more of a connoisseur of movie quotes.
Movie quotes?
I remember that shit.
That's
what
cute.
are some of your favorite quotes?
Oh man,
What's some of your favorite movies to quote?
Dude, my all-time favorite movie is My Cousin Vinny.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
And what's
we're gonna have to add that to the list because I haven't seen
that shit is I can watch that shit and fucking so many times. I watched it the other day for the first time in a while, but it's probably my 100th time.
Oh, it holds up.
But my favorite part of that shit is when Marissa Tomei just shits on the dude about the car. She proves the car couldn't have made those tire tracks and shit. And I'm a mechanic and have been a car guy my whole life and shit. So it was funny too because the movie she just disproved she just it's just funny when people like that just get she just shit on him they had all this proof
God.
and then she came out there and she's like, bam.
And she's got that what would you call it, a New York Italian accent and shit,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
So you might assume she's maybe not as knowledgeable about cars as she is.
That's what I'm saying. That was the whole thing is the whole trial was it was a car movie in disguise because the whole trial depended on them proving it was the car, that fucking when they did the murder or whatever.
That's so true.
And then you got this chick that is a hairdresser and shit, and she's from New York, whatever. She's all dressed up, and then but she actually was a mechanic. So she just it was just funny that how I like things where just people get shut down like that.
You said you kind of are a mechanic and car guy. Do you like old muscle cars and shit? Do you want to fix up cars or?
So I was a master Mercedes-Benz technician for 10 years.
Fuck.
And then throughout that time I worked in with all sorts of German cars mostly.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I'm master certified in all that shit. And so I like those. Never really got huge into American muscle cars too much. I always had Japanese cars for myself. I used to always have Mitsubishis and shit. I had these a couple crazy Evos and old school Mitsubishis and shit.
Nice.
And but Yeah, but I like nowadays I like still like Japanese and German shit more so than like American cars personally. Except for like trucks and shit. I've had like a couple Suburbans and like a Ford Excursion and shit. So like for a big ass truck, yeah, I like American.
Who makes
shit.
Nissan? Because I want a GTR Skyline so bad.
Skyline.
Nissan makes.
I was gonna say,
I mean, like, it's a Japanese car. I thought it was a Japanese car.
Are you for or against Mercedes now after working for them? Do you like Mercedes?
Mercedes is the best.
The best?
Yeah, like as far as like technician friendly shit, they're like some of the most complicated cars in the world. So like the fact that I could fix those, like,
that's why maintenance is so much money. For
like I could
So
fix
expensive.
anything pretty much on a car.
Yeah.
my brother used to have an Audi, and he'd always bitch about how expensive it was.
Dude, Audis and Volkswagens are some of the more expensive because they don't authorize their like parts like aftermarket parts and shit. And like labor is still the same with like a Benz or a Beamer or whatever.
Yeah.
But with those, at least you can get some parts like in the aftermarket that are like significantly cheaper. It's the same shit. Like it's not like a low quality part because you don't want to put shitty shit in those cars. But,
Exactly.
But yeah, I've made a lot of money fixing Audis, dude. Those things
Audis are
break
sick.
a motherfucker. But Mercedes is like are the
spiders.
most like as far as cars like tech friendly. Like they're put together real well.
Do you still do a lot of car work?
Well, so I was doing like during like before this COVID shit, I was doing like side jobs in the garage and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple jobs a week or whatever. You know, because I have like a decent garage space and I have my tools in there.
I might have to hit you up for
And
some
then,
car shit.
but as soon as this fucking,
Car guy.
as soon as music got kind of canceled, I just went back to working at a shop.
Yeah.
You know, I went into this spot that was like owned by a homegirl's boyfriend and shit, and he was looking for somebody. And I went in there, and it's pretty cool. It's like a custom performance shop. It's like pretty chill.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's like a lot of fun cars that go in there. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. You know, because like music ain't happening right now and nothing's going on and shit. So I was just like, I might as well fucking go back. You know, at least for now, we'll see. You know, we'll see.
Did you miss it though too? Like it's a part of your life?
No, not really, because
no.
when I stopped doing it, I was really burnt on that shit. It went from like
it's a rough job,
dude. It sucked. I was like the lead technician at a really high paced shop, and fucking, it was just like getting, you know, at this point I was starting to like, so my first like real job in the music industry was tour managing, and shit. So like I was starting to like see that was a thing. And I was so burnt out on cars and shit that I was just like, man, like, and I've always been an artist. Like I paint. I'm a tattoo artist as well and shit.
Yeah.
So like I've always wanted to do, you know, like I always like wanted to do something with art, really. Yeah. But then like I did love working on cars. But at that point, I had worked for these people for a while that like I really just had started to hate it. And then my last couple years, like my homie had bought this shop off this old German dude who was like getting out of the game. Yeah. And fucking, so I worked for him for the last couple years. So the last couple years were like better, but it was still like, I already had like 1 foot out the door. Yeah. And I was just, it was getting me burnt out. So, and then like I said, I was trying to become like a full-time tour manager or you know, as much as I could or whatever, you know.
Would you like to elaborate kind of on your music background and
who's the first artist you were
kind
tour
of
manager?
who you go by and everything? Because
the first artist I tour managed was Manic Focus.
Wow.
No way, that's sick.
The first one.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I just want to shout
Focus.
out to his name because that is one of the best DJ names I've ever heard.
Definitely.
Manic Focus
I
is so
remember
dope.
seeing him at summer camp
Also
my
awesome music,
first
too.
year there, and he mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 2013.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was dope. This was like me and J-Mac and his brother Joe and shit. We just we met and just like hit it off right away and became real good friends and shit. So, you know, at first I would fucking just go, you know, I was doing real good, like as far as like money. I was working full time at the car spot, and like I was kind of lenient on like, you know, I could take a few days off here and there, and like you know, and I was already going to a lot of festivals and shit like that, you know, and doing all that. So I started just kind of like, you know, just like, I mean, if you like any like homie tour manager, because back then, like, you know, he wasn't like, you know, big enough to like really pay me and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I started just like being like, all right, I'll do like a few, you know, gigs with you and shit on my own time, my own, you know, I'll get on my own dime pretty much, you know, they'll cover maybe like travel expenses or some shit, whatever it was. But I was just like, this is dope because like, you know, I love music, and this is before I started like playing music or making music. This is like, you know, or I like at that point I think I like tried like DJing a little bit or something like that.
Right.
You know, I didn't start actually like diving into that shit like till way later. But so it was cool, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, this is a job that I can do, like, because it's kind of like running shit, and like you're part of the show, even though you're not really playing anything. When everything comes together, you're like, fuck yeah, like it was cool. So it was like, when I started doing that shit, I was like, all right, like eventually I'd like for this to be like my whole thing and shit.
Yeah, was the touring starting out with Manic Focus and everything, and seeing what the music scene was that what got you into the music?
Oh no, I was already
producing?
I was well into the music scene already.
I mean,
as
like
far as
producing yourself and everything.
Well, dude, I didn't start actually making music till about like a couple years ago.
Oh really?
You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
It hasn't been that long, man. The only like the reason that it's gotten as far as it has is like I have had like a lot of support from like a lot of people who are just really dope and have become good friends of mine, and that's what tour managing did. Yeah. Essentially, because with that, because at that point I was already like going to a lot of festivals and like had some homies in the scene and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like my first like real like. I guess like my first real like good homie musician like in this part of the scene, I guess, was Michael Menner. Like we met in like I don't know, maybe like 2009 or 10 or some shit like that, and we hit it off right away. We're still like best of friends. And
that's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So like I had already like met some people like in the game, and like I said, I was already going to a lot of festivals and going to a lot of shows and shit. So I was already like well versed in like the festival scene or whatever you want to call it. But then like I started like because before like I actually got the tour managing gig, I would do like some shit where like all right like with Michael for instance, we went to Wakarusa in 2012, and it's like I rented the RV, I drove and shit. You know what I'm saying? I helped them out. Like. Just get their shit together. Nice. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started to realize that like, all right, well, this could be a job and this is dope. So I was just like, fuck working on cars. I just want to be around music and fucking parties and shit all the time.
Sounds so much cooler.
Sounds so much more fun.
And that's kind of how it started with that. And then after my last gig as a TM, I was just like, kind of like the tour went all right, but I was kind of discouraged in a way. And I was just like, you know what? Like by then I had like practiced up on my DJing more and shit. Now I had a pretty good grasp on that, and I started playing bass by then already and shit. I used to play when I was a kid for like a couple years, but I never really got it. And like, you know what I'm saying? But I picked it back up, and like the fact that I had like just accumulated more music knowledge, like just from being a TM and just being around like all these people that are just like really talented and dope, and like. I picked up enough shit to where when I started playing the bass again, it wasn't as hard this time.
Came faster.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
And and then like right away, like good homies, that are like really good musicians, were just like, hell yeah, let's jam, or like I'll show you some shit or whatever. So that was really cool. That's like, the only reason I learned like fairly fast, or at least to get, I'm still like nowhere near what you would call like a good musician of any kind, a good bass player or some shit. Like I'll, like compare, some of these motherfuckers are just so sick.
It's so
but it was cool that I had people like that like are really good, that were very supportive. So that definitely helped me. But
the muscle memory with the mind is just so
your
fucked.
Your automaticity carries on crazy. Like if you learn something as a kid, you could carry it over.
Oh, it's crazy.
So easy.
It's so easy to learn.
Your mind remembers
you think
so
you
much
forgot
shit.
it, but your mind fucking has got your
it's
back.
nuts.
Dude, it's crazy how when you're a kid how easy it is to learn shit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's so nuts.
Just
Your brain
absorb
is
everything.
So fucking nuts.
You're a sponge.
Like, dude, I can't believe. And like when you're an adult, it's so much fucking. It's so crazy. I find that shit fascinating because I actually went through something like that. Like my family immigrated here in the early '90s from Russia.
Okay.
Nice.
And
That's crazy.
part of the vetting process at that time was like you had to like stop at like some different countries to like just chill, kind of just wait for your paperwork or whatever, for you to be cleared,
Right.
There's so many people kind of coming from like an enemy state, kind of like, when you hear like refugees from like, like Arab countries right now, you hear like the vetting process, like that's like let them chill and like, make sure they're all good. So that's kind of what we went through and shit. But like we lived in Italy for like 4 months maybe or something when I was a kid, and I was just kind of like roaming around. I was like 6 years old or some shit, and I spoke fucking damn near fluent Italian after that 4 months. Like it took me like a month to like get enough language just to get around and like just speak. And
that's crazy.
It was crazy.
Dude.
And I think back on it, I was like, holy shit, like how easy was that? Like I just
absorbed it though.
Yeah, because even when I got here, it wasn't even like I feel like it was harder to learn English even because I was more like I was at school, but like out there I was just like I don't know, just running around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because it was like safe as fuck. That's like another thing that's kind of crazy out there. Like my mom let me just like run around, but like once we got here, it was like you can't go past these 2 blocks. It's like why the fuck? We just came to the United States, supposed to be dope, right? But I can't even leave the block. I was in Italy just running around and shit, and everything was totally safe. I was just like, I always thought that was kind of weird.
This John Denver guy was really full of shit.
I wonder if that's a bandwidth problem as like growing older, why we don't learn stuff as much because we're just have so many other stresses as an adult.
It's
and
definitely
growing
like-
older compared to a young kid that's
I
just
think-
like
well,
very ignorantly blissful and you're just in a moment.
Yeah, probably, but I think it's also totally biological because like that's when you're supposed to learn a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just even learning how to talk, like how crazy that is, like from nothing. You know, because if you
Very
learn
true.
like another language, you can be like, all right, this is a beer.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Cerveza.
I've seen this
Piva.
thing about
That's
like
beer in Russian. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen this thing
To
about
Babel.
a blind guy, and they like do all this crazy surgery that in theory like totally should have repaired his ability to see, but long story short, like it just wasn't catching. He was just seeing like blobs and things like that, and they kind of figured out that his brain, having never had to see anything before, has already used up all its neural connections to do other shit. And so there's
Yeah,
like
that
no
makes
more
sense.
new space for it to form these really important connections that start forming as soon as you have eyesight when you're a kid.
I kind of
And,
learned that
you know,
human anatomy, something like that. Where,
Right,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Crazy.
Really,
Well,
like,
is that why maybe like you know how when you lose a sense, they say like your other ones
Yep.
become sharper.
Your neurons
Exactly.
kind of
That's
go
exactly
towards
what it
everywhere
is.
else to kind of enhance everything else, since it can't
Yeah.
really go to that spot.
Yeah,
That
There's
makes
a, there's a
sense.
good,
At all.
there's a
They're
good
just- that's cool that
analogy.
it does it because
It's
it's just
fucked
like all right,
up.
after a couple years, it's like all right, well this spot fucking sucks. There ain't shit going on here. Let's fucking go over here, I guess, and here's some
Exactly.
shit.
Well, then you got like Ray Charles in the movie about him where he's like, you know, I just am able to use my hearing better, like that hummingbird outside the window right now, you know. And then she's like, oh my God, there is a hummingbird outside the window.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think the best analogy is like the fountains that come up. Like when you put your foot on one and plug it, it excels the other ones
Oh,
in
yeah,
pressure.
yeah.
I love that analogy.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I used to do
Tyler
like,
always coming in with the fucking
as a
fire
kid, dude, I'd be
analogies.
jumping
Deep.
around. I'd be like covering like one with this arm and one with this foot, and like trying to get, or like, dude, you come over and cover that one now, and like it was a huge like, you know, it was a huge orchestration going on there to make sure that you get that one jet the highest.
So should we like knock out one of our senses so we get better at music?
Dude, this is we
Stop.
totally should. First of all,
I guess smell would be the one.
That's what I was just
mean,
about to
like,
Yeah, but then you couldn't taste.
this is another random thought.
It's like
yeah,
97%
But then you
of your
can
taste.
hear
well,
better for
well, you
music,
don't want
I
to knock
guess.
out your fucking hearing for music. So what else you got?
I don't know, man.
Well, dude,
touch.
that's a good question. As four musicians here, what would you give up, sight or hearing? It's so hard for me to answer this one.
That
hearing
is-
for
I'd
sure.
have
Even
to-
as a musician.
Yeah, I'd still have to say hearing because
I think so. I think you're right, man. It's just so hard
It
for
just
me.
it just seems like just
Imagine.
as far as like the difficulty of your life
Not
would not be nearly as like upped.
You're right.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
You're
Like,
right.
If you lose your hearing, you can still get around. You
Yeah.
can still do all sorts of shit.
Yep.
If you lose just your sight, it'll take you years to even just like figure out how to like get around the house.
And
So
also,
true.
you're a fucking. You could walk around on your own, do anything you want if you lose
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah.
But then you're a liability now if you're just walking around. Like, okay, come on, Matthew,
Yeah,
over here.
yeah.
Don't run,
There was
don't run
also-
into here.
As much as I wouldn't like to
That
lose
would
my
suck.
Oh,
hearing,
you're right.
yeah. that's-
losing sight would be like
Yep.
straight up scary as fuck.
Dude, I just watched.
I can't even imagine.
I watched the roast of Donald Trump, which was from like 2011. Which, first of all, was really weird to watch, having him
Yeah.
now be the fucking psychopath of a president that he is. But like, there was this comedian that was a chick, and she was deaf. I forget her name. I should look it up at some point. But she was so funny because she's got a guy interpreting like for her, or she's signing, and you got some guy like
Yeah.
saying the jokes for her, and
And he's
she's
got to
wrong-
be. He's got to be funny too. I feel
Oh,
like.
you're right. He had to have been like funny himself.
He had to have a
and
sense of humor.
she was pretty raunchy. And
well, I
it
would
was
get a
funny.
comedian to do it, obviously.
Yeah,
It was
That
good.
knows
though,
sign
man.
language.
I highly recommend watching that for anyone that wants some weird like time warp trip. Like they're talking about him being the president and how much of a joke it was, and
That's crazy.
It's kind of fucked up.
Have you seen The Simpsons? The Simpsons has like everything laid out in the future.
He's been
It's
talking
crazy,
about it for a
dude.
long time, apparently.
It's nuts.
Oh, he has been talking about it for a long time. I heard it. I'm not sure how true this is, but there was one thing where it was like something where like they had some kind of dinner or something, and he was talking shit about Obama, and Obama was like, "Well, whatever I am, I'm one thing you'll never be, the president of the United States." And then like it was something like that. That's when he like decided to run or some shit. I was like, oh shit.
Such an ego. He's such an egomaniac.
Just to spite Obama.
Yeah, probably. Dude.
I could see him just doing that just to
why
like
the fuck
prove him
would you
wrong.
run for president? Who the fuck wants to be
You want to
president?
hear some kind
Yeah,
of
it sounds so much more stressful than what his other life was before.
Fuck that.
When my class was in 3rd grade, we wrote like kind of letters for when we graduated. They like buried them and everything.
Oh yeah, we did that.
So one of the kids in my grade in 3rd grade predicted Obama would be president in the year that he became president.
Is this kid like a prophet?
Dude,
Well,
that's
for
what
one,
I'm saying.
First question is, how old are you, or how old was this kid? Because like when I was a kid, fucking, I didn't know who the fuck.
That's
Barack
what I'm
Obama was.
saying. We were in 3rd grade and this kid.
But what year was
So that must have been
Oh, word,
2002.
I'm 37.
2020,
Yeah,
something like
so
that.
But he didn't.
Yeah,
he
all
became
right, cool.
president when we were in
We're
high school.
little
When I was in
babies.
high
That's what I'm
school,
saying, like-
it was like 10
No,
years
Obama was
later.
in our
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
10 years
middle
later,
school
this
and shit
man
like that.
predicted Obama
Exactly.
would be president in the
Obama-
year that Obama became.
Obama
It was
came-
the most fucked thing I've ever seen in my life.
That kid
crazy.
was fucking paying attention to politics. They
He
were
sounds like a
so true.
Republican. No, yeah, he was
They
definitely.
were like, this guy fucking. They've been grooming him for that shit for a long time. Like that shit
Yeah.
doesn't come quick. They're not just like.
It's very true.
Well,
this motherfucker.
Obama came to our high school and he was the senator of Illinois, I
Yeah,
believe.
right.
That's
yeah.
that rich
And-
fucking
Yeah, right. York
white
High
people
School.
shit. Dude,
And
they
I was
went
like,
to Navy
I was like,
Pier
who
for
the
their
fuck
prom.
is this guy? I had no idea who he was. And then, sure enough, he ends up being the president. I was so
That's
out of touch.
nuts.
Such a rich white boy.
White boy. Yeah, we went to Navy Pier in Chicago.
boat.
for
And then they
prom,
went on
we
the
had a
Odessa
boat-
yacht.
A boat cruise.
That's where you
afterwards.
bring. That's where you bring like your nice
sounds
date.
fancy.
We
It
went
was
to our
pretty
D1
fancy.
college and I'd blow up fucking shit and
Hey, I paid
played
for my prom
ate
ticket, okay?
pizza from our hometown.
With money that my parents probably gave me.
So you're from Chicago originally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when'd you move here?
I moved here in right at the beginning of 2014, end of 2013, like pretty much right there.
Okay.
Which
and
place do
how
you like
old were
better?
you then?
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
Sorry. How old were you then?
I was 31.
31. Baby.
Oh, so you lived in Chicago for 31 years, though?
No,
Oh.
well,
You said you traveled a bunch.
I
Yeah.
didn't travel a bunch. I was born in Russia. And
Okay, yeah.
Then we got to Chicago in
crazy. Then you lived in
1990.
Italy,
I was, like,
too?
7. That's briefly. That was
Oh,
like on
okay.
the way to the United States.
Okay.
Basically. That was like just like some, like I said, some vetting process shit.
Nice.
But yeah, I lived in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, in the Chicago area, I guess.
Which one of your favorite cities you've been to? Because I think Chicago is the most beautiful city in the country, but only 3 months out of the year, which is the summer.
The most beautiful cities I've been in. Well, like the city I was born in, St. Petersburg, Russia, is a very beautiful city.
Really?
I still remember some of it, and like as far as just like architecture and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Vancouver.
Oh, I've never been there.
As far as just like the vibe there and shit, like
Yeah.
like I've done some shows there,
that'd
tour
be
managing, and I've been
crazy.
up to Shambhala Music Festival, which isn't in Vancouver, but it's in BC. It's the same type of vibe. I feel like the people are just really cool, and like everything's just like real chill. So I like that as far as that kind of shit. I love Chicago, but like I'm way over it. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I like living here a lot better for just
Definitely.
like what I like, and I don't like super big city like craziness,
Okay.
especially in Chicago. Like
It's
a
kinda
lot of
how I
people
am.
are kind of angry a lot of the times, and I participated in that game for a long time, and I was just over it as far as that. So I like it out here. It's like a big city, but it's not that big,
Yes.
so it's like pretty chill. And people
Yeah.
just generally seem to be like more chill and happy, and that's kind of the shit that I'm on.
I say this all the time because I'm from Chicago too. I moved here in 2013 around a similar time, and our music's gotten a lot better. But nonetheless, we never played a show in Chicago, and I always felt like it was so cutthroat. Like people were like,
I actually haven't played in Chicago yet either.
Right,
I
it's
played
like-
the Miramar in Milwaukee like 3 times. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one of
I played the
hometown-ass
Miramar.
fucking venue. I love
but
them.
I love the Miramar. Yeah, shout out to
that's
Aaron,
my shit.
Aaron
Yeah,
Olson. He's the
Oli, that's
man,
my
dude.
fucking
Yeah,
guy.
he's the man, dude. We played there. We opened for Haywire on New Year's Eve in like 2015. Me and Papa Skunk. Do you remember Papa Skunk?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, he's my boy, and that was so fun. But yeah, in Chicago, man, I just felt like everyone viewed you as their competition. Whereas as soon as I moved here, people were like, "Oh, okay, you got dope music. Let's help you out. Let's give you a hand."
Well, out there, it's like, so this scene that we're particularly kind of in, you know what I'm saying, is like a small part of like the whole thing. And,
Yes.
And like in Denver, there's a lot more people that are in that exact scene per smaller area. and also like out here, like people just buy more tickets to that shit.
Very true.
So there's not, how we have, here we have. I mean, there's fucking. I mean, obviously not now, but like before all this bullshit, there's fucking so many shows. I mean, we had like shit like Research Wednesdays every Wednesday. We have every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's something going on at Cervantes.
Final Fridays at Black Box.
Yeah, all
There's
that.
not
All
like
shit. I mean, there's
like a girl night too or something like that at Black
There's
Box
been all
or
girl
something
and at your mom's house all girl
Or,
DJ
yeah.
nights and shit like that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
There's there's a huge market.
Once
for
the
it,
Rolling
you're right.
Stones recently played here, they referred to Denver as the new LA.
I refer
For, like, the-
I refer
as
to
a
Denver
popularity.
as our generation's New Orleans.
Ah, okay.
Because
Oh, I
like
like
New
that.
Orleans is known for just like a bunch of like old school cats and just like real good musicians just jamming all the time, going to spots. And like I feel like a lot of the dudes that are like our generation's like those kind of musicians, some of them have moved here and a lot of them spend a lot of time here just because like they, versus other cities, they probably play like a lot more shows here. I mean, especially like shit like Red Rocks and whatever, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like we're always having like dope musicians here, even if they don't live here. They, I'd say like,
There's a show there every night.
yeah, there's a show every night, and
Between
like I
Pepsi
said,
Center.
the more people move here, because like as a musician, you want to go to a place where like a bunch of your homies live that make music, because you're just gonna end up making music or playing music, and
Very
so I
true.
feel like Denver's getting to the point where like we have like jazz nights, we have like shit like that where like the dope musicians like come out, but like the people who enjoy like electronic shit or hip hop or whatever, or there's some of those people will still come to that too. So like that's
Right.
what you want. Like I love like that's what I was saying. Like I was using New Orleans as an example. It's like out there it's just like people, just go out and see live music all the time. But it's not like but people aren't really buying like tickets to where people can like make a lot of money.
Right.
It's more like these small local shows that are happening all the time. But in Denver, it's like we have, a lot of kids they'll buy a $5-10 ticket twice a week or whatever
Yep.
the fuck
Right.
to anybody. Like they don't, they'll be like, all right, I'll come check this out or whatever.
I've seen like you'll spend $10 at Cervantes and see members of Cheese, or
Yeah.
you'll spend $15 and see people from the Biscuits, or like you're right, that's always
Yeah,
happening.
like last time,
We're spoiled.
Yeah, like last year there was fucking the last like, I mean one of my favorite Red Rocks weekends ever was Lettuce, and then Anderson .Paak or
Yeah.
the other way around. Was it the other way around? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It was a dope ass fucking weekend.
That's it right there. You can't even keep track. There's so
And then
much awesome
exactly.
shit.
And then Anderson came to Cervantes and played an after show. Him and Dykes were like switching off on drums, like shit like that, and everybody was stoked. It's like you don't get that kind of shit in like every city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like
Grizz is playing a pop-up show here like almost
Every
weekly.
weekend.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Any other major city is
you
not
know,
like this.
You're
No,
kind of
it's
that's what
talking.
I'm
not.
saying.
It's really
and
not.
the fact that it's small makes it easier because like
Yeah.
Chicago does have a huge music scene of all types of music.
Yeah.
But like first of all, that doesn't exactly like intermingle. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because like
The type of people
Yeah.
too that are in the scene.
yeah, like because like here like aren't like the cats that are like in the electronic scene are still like kind of like it's not like they'll not be in the same shit as like the jam band kids or whatever. It intermingles a lot more than
It's all
Yeah.
festival
Yeah.
friendly shit.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like it's all the festival
Yeah.
scene. Denver's
Yeah.
like living in a festival and shit.
That's
Yeah.
a representation of, I think, the music now. Because even jam band and electronic, it's just like this combination of so many different styles before, and this is the new wave. Whether that's jam or
It's just kind of
jazz.
everything. Like I
yeah,
said,
just
it all
everything.
boils
though.
down to the fact that like if we're speaking of Denver, like people buy tickets here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Then that's what
more than any other
that's what it all comes
city,
down
I'm pretty
to.
sure.
And that's what it all really comes down to, because if whatever genre you're talking about, whatever city it's in, if people start if there's enough demand, people will fucking throw shows every day. You know what I'm saying? Like in Denver, I feel like is it like LA is like a whole different thing because there's so much different shit going on there. So you could say the same about LA, I guess, but it's like on a different
scale.
It's a different scale. It's a different vibe.
Right.
You know,
spread out more.
Yeah. So like, I can't say that like we sell more tickets here than like LA or Chicago or New York.
But per capita,
like,
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
you're right.
Per capita, I think we do because there's just so many little things that people go. You know, I mean, I don't know how the fuck you know. And like I said, especially because it's small, so you can literally. I mean, how many times have you hit several shows in one day?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be like, I was over here. You know, I was at Red Rocks and fucking left a little early, then hit Cervantes or some shit, and then like a late night at New Conscious or something. That's like, you know what I mean? It's like that's like 3. That's Red Rocks and 2 more shows.
And then you're wrecked for 2 days.
Oh, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like to do that in any other city, you might have to really like. First of all, travel far, which is kind of a bitch. Like even like coming from Red Rocks is a little far into the city, but you're probably gonna come into the city anyways. Right. To obviously
to come back to your hotel or something.
Right, your hotel, your house. Like I mean,
It's like 20-25 minutes. Not even that far.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not that crazy. So that's what's dope about Denver.
And I think it helps with the scene being like tight knit, but not an exclusive cliquey way. Just like I always see the same people at after parties, and I see the same people at shows, and you start to like. I've never felt. I mean, I have never lived here at this time in my life, anywhere else in this time of my life, rather. But you feel the sense of like community and camaraderie that's very like palatable.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that comes with the fact that there's because even like I said, like our little piece of the music industry, our scene, whatever, is not as like grimy and cutthroat as some factions of the music industry. You know what I'm saying? So music is a kind of a slimy business, like especially when you get to where the money is like really really big.
Yeah.
So we're fortunate in the way that it's. I mean, there's scandalous shit that goes down, and
look at all this shit with Bass Nectar cutting Mimi Page out and money and shit.
I'm talking about just like the business aspect of it.
Fair enough. Well,
all that shit, like that's fucking another whole thing. Like,
fair enough.
People like. I feel like all that like crazy predatory shit, like that could happen in any sort of.
Not even
music,
that. I'm just saying about the Mimi. I don't know if you saw Mimi Page saying like she fucked him out of royalties and stuff like that.
Butterfly,
kind
basically,
like,
he paid her.
So I didn't read that whole thing, but yeah, I did glance over that shit and shit. Like, oh yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. Like
the business side.
Yeah, like what because
he fucking paid her $3,000, and Butterfly ended up being one of his top songs ever.
Well, dude, that happens all the fucking time. Like you were talking about, like we were just talking about the Ray
whole
Charles
thing,
movie,
though.
like,
Right, Ray Charles. It's the tale as old as time. Yeah,
it's been known that in music that
she wrote the whole thing, and he just convinced her that since he's got a bigger name, that he would basically sell the song, which is probably what happened. But she wrote the whole song pretty much, and then it ends up being pretty much his number one song. And she said she's talked to like a lot of bass heads and everything, and they said Butterfly is what got them into liking Nectar, because Nectar's very heavy and aggressive, but like they saw the softer side in him, what he could be a bit basically, but it was really Mimi. But he just talked her out of all the royalties, saying that
that shit
I'll
happens.
sell it better.
See, that shit happens all the time, and the way to do that is to not sign shit that.
Exactly.
Shit like that.
She just kept working with him, which I'm like, you're an idiot by that point. You worked with him 5 times, and he fucked you over 5 times. So
I think she got fucked over, but like, what about like how much money he made her after that? Because the
he
fans
didn't make her shit, dude.
No, I'm
Look
saying
at her followers.
the fans she gained from.
She doesn't have fans.
See, that shit though. That shit is like.
Well, that's no. I think she got fucked over.
That's what a lot of people. That's what a lot of people like that do that kind of shit kind of promise, and like if it really works out, it's like, all right, if we make a song together. And fucking, you blow up, or like you're obviously like if you're a bigger artist and like it actually helps you blow up like legitimately, then all right, cool. I guess that's fair, I mean, because you are like doing something for this person. But a lot of those times, it really doesn't happen like that, because there's like, all right, yeah, you got some more fucking fans theoretically or some shit, but like, are you fucking selling more shows?
Exactly, and that's what it came down to.
Are you actually making real, like, significantly more money?
She should honestly be a millionaire off Butterfly, but like I think she's one of my biggest inspirations, but she still doesn't make
another million, a lot.
Well, she should probably.
Well, I mean,
millionaire.
Let's say it has.
He made a lot off Butterfly. Let's say
it has 100 million Spotify streams or so. That's worth like $600,000 to $800,000 worth of streaming royalties
every time that he's played live Butterfly. Every time.
Well, no one makes money on that. No one makes money on that.
But he like didn't ever pay her to play live, which is again her own fucking
totally,
fault.
totally.
Which is again
there's
her
levels.
own fault. And then he promised her like a song on All Colors, which was his latest album before he retired or quit or whatever. And he's like, "Can you just do me one more like little favor?" And then didn't like pay her, put her
Didn't
name on.
even credit her.
Didn't
yeah,
credit her
that's
on the
fucked.
song
Didn't
or
shout
anything.
out or
Nope.
anything. Yeah.
And then
I mean, that's like pretty low.
yes, agreed.
Yeah,
he
but
like
that's what
made
I'm
her
saying,
all these
like,
promises
that,
and just
like that shit there is
that's
like.
was, but that's again her fault for just continuing to work. As soon as someone fucks me over, one time, okay, he's a bigger artist, whatever. 2 times, that's probably my fault. 3 times, maybe let it go. But like 4, 5, 6
a
times,
lot.
that's your own fucking fault.
That's what I was saying.
That's
though,
your own fault.
Compared to like.
You say no at
Like,
that point.
You think that shit's grimy? Compare that shit to like what was happening in the music. Like I said, like race,
Right, that's
shit like
nothing.
that. Like it's a well-known fact that like Jimi Hendrix never saw anybody.
Dude,
You
I
know
saw.
what I'm saying? Like shit like that, where you're just where you think like these people are these giant stars, but in the and like until like nowadays, where you can like release your own music and it's possible to like blow up and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Back then it was like you either have a record deal or you're a garage band.
I was reading through,
in
like, the
between
Mimi shit, too,
of
but
any sort.
Yeah.
So
It's-
like, of course you'd be like, dude, you guys are gonna put us on, like I'll sign whatever the fuck. Who cares?
Yeah.
And then when you fucking go back and it's like these motherfuckers got ripped
Dude,
off.
Michael Jackson owned majority of the Beatles royalties, which I saw through the Mimi shit. They're like basically like, "Yo, you fucked up." Like Michael Jackson owned all the Beatles, and they were still successful. You just kind of, it's the music industry. It's tough. You learn as a new beginner, and you learn from your mistakes, and you grow as an artist.
When you release with a record label, usually they own the rights
Yeah.
to the song.
Uh-huh.
They're just giving you a portion of the
cut or something.
the profit made from owning it and selling it out in as many ways as possible.
You just got,
know?
I feel like
Metallica owns their entire album or their entire music what am I trying to
Catalog,
say?
I guess?
Yeah,
Their
yes.
discography?
He owns their entire catalog, discography, same shit. And that's like very rare for a band, but they're Metallica. You know?
Really?
They're so
Yeah.
huge.
what was that
Well, they
thing
were
that
also
you were
on top of that shit. Like when Napster came out, they
Yes.
were suing motherfuckers and shit. They were like those cats that were like fucking.
Metallica don't fuck around.
They saw that shit from the beginning. They were all fucking business ass and shit. They were just like, yeah, we're owning this shit.
It was
which
Matter
makes
Ty.
sense.
You brought up a story talking about a favorite, like an artist, and they were interviewed of like who their favorite band was, and they were like a really popular band, and they were said something, and they're like, it should have been Metallica.
No, I was my friend. He met the singer
Okay.
of Bring Me the Horizon at Ozfest, and he's like, "Dude, you're the singer, Ollie Sykes." He's like, "You're one of my favorite singers ever, or you guys are one of my favorite bands." He's like, "Oh, that's a shame. Your favorite band should be Metallica."
Dude, I went to Ozfest, that fucking Alpine Valley one.
Alpine,
What year?
dude?
Yeah. Oh
Sick.
shit. I don't know. Like
My dad brought my brother in like 98, 99, and then like
Oh,
I went
man.
like
No, this was-
2003 and
I
shit.
fucking.
I was young. I was a young metalhead, dude.
Dude, this had to have been maybe like. It was one of the later ones. I really don't know, but it was definitely like.
Back in the day.
No, but it wasn't as
Not that back in
No,
the
it wasn't
day.
that back in the day. It was like
Yeah.
08 or something.
Okay,
maybe
word.
like something where like I don't know. I don't.
Do you know who was headlining? Because I might know the
I
year.
think it was Ozzy Osbourne.
Wait. no. Not that.
Not sure.
One of the main headliners.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
No,
Yo,
yeah.
do you know who the headliner?
Obviously, it's
Wait, hold on.
Ozfest.
Do you know who the headliner of Ozfest was?
No. Some of
5
the main
points, Barry.
headliners they do have headliners.
They do have headliner. Like System of a Down has
Fuck
been a
off.
headliner.
I don't know.
Tyler's
Sevenfold.
That was a good
Obviously.
one.
Funny, dude.
Um,
Yo, so what's some of the craziest shit you've ever seen Michael Menner do on the road? I've met him before. He's a crazy fuck.
Oh man, I mean he doesn't do anything that crazy.
What's the craziest thing Michael Menner's done that he wouldn't be mad that you told on this microphone right now? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean
Do you have any crazy stories from your touring days? Any that stand out? Not to put you on the spot or anything, but
I mean like
you just normal partying.
What's just
getting
maybe one of
fucked
your
up?
favorite memories?
That works.
I mean
too.
like I don't know, man. Like I've never seen anything like super crazy, mind blowing, like rock and roll type shit like they used to do, and you know,
right?
like some Motley Crue trash hotel rooms and throw TVs out the window shit.
They've gotten a lot tame.
One
A lot
of
more tamer these days.
I can tell you like a pretty fun it's not like it's like PG crazy, but it was fun as fuck memory that I could definitely tell you. So this was like I wasn't at this point, I don't think I was really like, I wasn't really, was I working? I don't, yeah, I was kind of like helping out Manic Focus at the time, but I don't remember if this was at the time when I was actually like already like working for him or we were just homies. And I think it was more like we were just homies and I was like helping him out a little bit. This was, I believe it was Halloween. And it was like Grismatic or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Word,
like Grismatic Halloween or whatever. And it was we were at the Rave in Milwaukee, right? And the Eagles Ballroom is the one.
Good spot.
Yeah,
That's a cool venue.
it's a cool venue. Yeah, I'm not like
I played there in my metal days.
I'm not terribly fond of it as far as like all the crazy shit that happens there, but but it is like a big nice venue. And so like
Wisconsin.
so this was like we were upstairs at the Eagles Ballroom. It was what was it? It was Manic Focus, Too Fresh, and Grizz and Grammatic, or maybe it was just a Grizz show. I don't know. I thought it was like a Grizmatic Halloween thing. I'm pretty sure, but so we had like we had there's like the green room is at the like if you're in the Rave, which is the middle floor, you have this big green room like in just behind the stage essentially. But if you're at the top in the Eagles Ballroom, you go all the way down to the basement, like down the staircase, and there's like a bunch of green rooms there. And like they also have this fucking they had an abandoned pool down there, right? Because it's like this crazy old fucking building and shit that has this pool in the basement, and apparently it got shut down in like 1927 or something because some kid died in it or something. It's so fucking long.
Was it a hotel?
Was it haunted?
I mean, yeah. There's like some kind of haunted stories or some shit about it. I don't know. I don't remember much of that, but like after so like you know after the show, it was a huge sold out show and everything. We had a big fucking party down there, and we started fucking and like this pool was like it's like dips down and shit like to the deep end or whatever. It starts like 4 feet, ends up like 10 or 11 or something. So we were grabbing me and Grizz's videographer Lane Kelly. We grabbed these chairs and we fucking started and we like slid them down the shit, and he was filming, and like we started having these chair races down this fucking
Old pool.
Yeah, down this old pool, and like everybody that was there. I mean, there was a shitload of people in the green room, and then we were fucking everybody just congregated like around the pool. And just like sitting there like yelling, partying, like waving us on and shit, and like Lane was filming us. Me and Grant were like racing each other down this fucking like it was like it was like sparks and shit flying. Like, it was fun as hell. It was like it wasn't like some crazy like destructive shit, but it was just really fucking fun. And the security guards came in and shit. At first they were like, anybody that like we're not paying, because like it was a huge sold out show, and they fucking ended up kicking us out of the venue. And I was like, this is fucking funny because like all this all these artists just sold out this place, made a ton of money and shit for for them as well. And fucking they kicked us out. And then we went on to the tour bus and just fucking I remember like everybody was rocking this thing back and forth so fucking hard that I thought it was gonna fall over. And it was just like it was just one of the rowdiest shits. Like
Sounds like you guys were under the influence.
Dude, what's his name? John? Manic Focus?
Yeah.
When I first moved here, Grassroots, they had like a Dab Roots event on 420, and he was there as Magic Pocus.
I know, I was there as his tour manager.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I was there, dude.
I was there with him.
He was blowing my mind with street magic, dude. He kills it.
First of all, John is like one of the best.
He's amazing at it. Yeah,
but he's a fucking dope magician, dude. That shit is crazy. Yeah, he actually considered being a professional magician at some point.
Did he?
Like
he's
before.
that good for sure.
Yeah,
man.
he used to work in a magic shop when he was a kid, and or like throughout a teenager or whatever. He's actually really good at it. Like, he's definitely mind blowing.
I wish I randomly had that talent. of just
Well,
magic.
it's not random. That's the thing.
Well,
it's a lot of practice.
I know.
like
No,
anything.
you got to work for that shit.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I wish I did as a kid.
It's all
just so I
sleight
can
of
whip
hand,
it out right
dude.
now.
Fair enough. I was actually really intrigued by magic when I was a kid.
You could juggle pretty good.
I'm all right at juggling. Yeah, I'm not bad.
Yeah.
We had a place in Elmhurst called Bob's Magic Shop, and this dude Bob was apparently like some national magician. You know, he had all these fucking like, you know, accolades and whatnot. But it was like kind of a weird, creepy place. It was like this small little shop with all these weird magic tricks, and the people who worked there were always like aspiring magicians, so they always be like fucking with you. But it was cool. I
Aspiring
loved going in
musicians.
there. Yeah, aspiring magicians. But like, it was
Dude, that shit's especially when you're partying, you're at a festival or some shit. When your boys like does some crazy,
Just
magic
whip it
shit.
out.
Yeah,
it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
I love it. I always have,
I've seen
man.
John do a magic a bunch of times. It always blows my mind.
At a festival, people are just high as fuck on acid, just blow their minds like,
Ta-da!
where did you take my fucking camelback? Where did it
for
go?
sure. Yeah, I feel like for him too, his fans love that shit. Like when kids find that shit out, they're just like, you know, because he's really cool about like meeting fans and, you know, being real cool with everybody. So like, it's funny to see like some kid that's just like, oh shit.
Do you
nice
know?
to meet you, and he just does some shit. They're like, wait, what
the
that
fuck?
too? It's like, what, cool.
Right? Do you know Chris Fredland?
I don't.
He lives here in Denver. He makes jewelry. Shout out Freedom Formations. He's an amazing jeweler. But he met John through someone, and he made him a manic focus pendant.
Oh
that
yeah,
he wears
that little
and shit.
like the little cast MF thing.
Yeah,
I wear that shit
exactly.
all the time. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's the
dope,
that
dude.
made it? Okay.
Yeah. Chris made it for him.
Nice.
And yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And I know Chris Bachman, you know, my manager.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't John's girlfriend live out here or something like that? He's been out here.
Yeah, no, he lives out here now.
He lives out here
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Everyone lives out here now. Symbionic just moved out here.
Yeah, it's a great place to live, man.
I think
It
it's
is.
because you can work with other people so easily now, especially with this
Well, not right now.
with
specifically.
EDM.
Shit.
Well,
dude.
yeah,
All
with
this fucking
COVID and
crazy
shit.
needs to end soon. I want music back.
It's
God
getting
damn.
there, man. Your mom's house you just played. It
Yeah,
was
but
and
I
it
mean-
was good vibes.
Dude,
too.
that shit's cool, but I mean, like, that's still, you know, that's far from fucking getting it back. You know what I mean?
Dipping your
Like,
I
toes
was
in the
gonna
water.
say that earlier. You know, this is our 8th podcast, and I wonder when us bitching about music not being a thing is gonna stop being a recurring theme in every podcast. But it's a
Well,
really
it's a
important thing in our
fucking-
lives.
it's
close
right
to
now.
our hearts too.
It's
It's close to our
it's a
fucking hearts.
reoccurring thing in my every day. I mean, like, every day I wake up and, like,
Yeah.
you know, miss going to shows all the time and seeing all. I mean, especially right now, dude. Like, festival season. Like, I haven't not done like a solid festival run in like, I don't know, 10 years or something.
It feels wrong, man. Just like standing out in my backyard when it's all warm and it feels nice and the sun's setting. I'm like, God damn it, I should be like at Sonic Bloom right now or like going to some festival.
Yeah, well, I was
you
supposed
know?
to play summer camp this year, and no, that's like my hometown festival. You know, that would have been like my, I don't know,
Fucking
Our,
love
our
summer
first
camp.
show ever was
Yeah.
at summer camp.
like 10
That's
or
an
11
awesome
summer
first
camp
show.
or some shit. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome first
We
show.
won the UNS challenge,
Oh, word,
and so
okay.
we played 12 p.m. at the Vibe Tent. There was like 50 people there, and it was the best first show experience of my life.
Nice.
I mean, I was about to say of my life. Of
Yeah,
course, it was
I
the best
played
of
it
my
last
life.
year. I was tour managing for X-Mag last year,
Oh hell yeah!
and there was and I just kind of like, man, I was just like, man, I'm gonna fucking come ready to play, and just see, you know, something's gonna happen, and it just worked out that I got to play like the third biggest stage due to a cancellation. I just kind of like,
That's sick.
just like, I heard about it right away and got my way in there and shit, and it worked out. So it was a pretty big show for me. And then this year I finally got booked, like, you know, for, you know, I was gonna bring the band out and shit.
Yeah.
So that sucked.
That's nice, like setting up a position for success, though, too. Like you didn't know if it could happen, but you just,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
you moved right to
Yeah.
put yourself in the right position.
Yeah, I just had, you know, I was manifesting it, and it just all worked out because like the like artist liaison at that stage is a homie, and I'm pretty cool with the owner as well. But like we, you know, like I'm new as an act, so I wasn't really trying to like reach out to them to play at that point even. But I was just like,
It was so
but
fucking.
last
It
year-
was so hot,
But
dude.
last year I was like, man, I think, especially with all the fucking shitty weather and whatever. So I was like, there's gonna have to be somebody that like misses a flight,
Yeah.
or there's a flight that's canceled or some shit. And it just happened to be like on the stage that I was already like working at, and it just all worked out real good. So, and it was cool. So yeah, that one kind of hit me hard in Electric Forest as well. to that's my favorite fucking festival ever.
That was my first
Same.
festival. I went there for 6 years.
It's
in a
so
row, and
beautiful.
It
Yeah, I've been to every one
It
except
changed my
for
life.
17. Yeah, that's
really did though.
Yeah.
Forest changed my life.
I always tell this story, but like I got there and would never ever admit to doing any illicit substances, but like was wandering around the parking lot and had such a good time there, and I didn't even go in the venue yet. I was just in the fucking parking lot, and then we went into the concert venue and I saw all these like insane art installations and the craziest music production I've ever seen and amazing music everywhere, and I was just like, what the fuck, how is this real? Like,
Yeah, man.
such a cool place.
That's what's Forest is
Dude, did you ever?
it's a magical place.
I remember just. I would
Just
never
say-
admit
just-
to taking a hallucinogen.
You've never done drugs, but let's say you did. Like,
let's say I
let's say you
did. Dude, I stumbled upon like that Halloween or like they're like cross dressers fucking you know what I'm talking about, the clowns like show that's like a comedy show.
Yeah,
You're talking about, like,
it's kind of like a masquerade.
Yeah,
Like at the
Forest,
Grand-
it's like,
like
right
at-
in the middle.
It's at the Grand Artique. That's what the spot's called. They do like
Oh, drag.
The drag
Drag
queen
dresser.
shit.
Yeah, it's like
my
drag.
God, that. Say I was on drugs. Funniest shit of my life. I've ever seen in
The
my
church.
fucking life.
There's so many just intricate parts in there. It's just beautiful.
That shit is yeah.
Forest is wild, man. They have
Yeah.
a post office. They have a whole town inside the forest. Like
That's
street
insane.
names on the dirt pass.
I did drugs today, okay? I drank caffeine and I smoked marijuana. So let's say you were on drugs.
You're a drug
I-
Who
addict.
knows what drugs you were on?
This marijuana right here.
Yeah, let's smoke a little bit of that
I took a
marijuana.
pill of caffeine today, and now I'm on tequila.
That's gross.
Shit, dude,
Tequila.
I don't really
I need
drink
some
much
more tequila. I'll be
caffeine.
right
If I took a
back.
Caffeine pill, I'd be fucking fucked.
Dude,
Dude, I drink so much.
That's just. I get up at 6 in the morning now. I'm a fucking
old
grandpa
man.
since I turned 27, and I have a dog. I go to bed at like 9. I'm up at 6. So I
Yeah.
feel like I just need
Yeah.
a nap and shit.
So you said you went to Ozfest. What got you into EDM so much? Was it a background of metal music, like dubstep?
Well, it's hip hop, right?
No, not so much. And for one, I'd like to say that like when I say EDM, I'm talking about like that fucking like EDC fist bump and shit. So I don't tend to refer to like our scene or any as EDM. So
That's what
much.
I've been saying.
Even though like the word anything is electronic dance
Yeah.
music, really. So whatever. But like I just when you hear me say EDM, I mean like that.
That's
like
kinda-
like
yeah.
that shit
Yeah.
to me.
Techno.
So yeah, like more like I don't know. There's a shitload of genres, but,
But
just
yeah,
just
like-
that more like big, like like that EDC ultra vibe.
yes, agreed.
You know what I'm saying? That's
that
what
more
I
rave
like.
vibe.
Yeah.
Well, you could say those
Well,
as
no,
subgenre.
I-
You could say
I
those
mean,
as
like, 'cause I
subgenres
wouldn't
too. You
consider
could say
Forest a
those as
rave,
festival
though. Like,
trap.
That's the
But
thing
I
though.
consider
None of
EDC
those
like more of a
no,
rave.
none of those things is a fucking rave. I
Well,
started going to
yes.
raves in Chicago when I was like
Yeah, that's not a
like,
rave.
But it's
when I
more
was
like
like
that rave scene of
16 or some
glitter,
shit.
where
Yeah, but
highlighter
yeah, but
shit
that's
of-
bullshit, dude. The fact that those kids call that shit a rave
Yes.
is fucking stupid.
Agreed. I
Like,
completely agree.
when-
Raves where you get
rave-
that text of a
ra-
random
a
fucking
rave is that
warehouse.
underground grimy ass shit. It's
Yes.
not fucking
Follow the glow stick
Yeah.
trail through this
It's-
cornfield.
yeah. That's a fucking rave, dude. There's not
Yes.
100 fucking bros fist pumping with a shirt that says "I love sluts" or some dumb shit. Is that?
I eat ass.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's some bullshit.
Agreed.
So the
It's a
fact that
joke.
those kids call that a rave, it's like just because like there's girls with furry boots and shit, like that's what you might find at a rave too.
Yeah,
There's rave clothing there.
it's
Yeah.
rave clothing.
That's
that
about
EDC
it.
There's rave
shit.
drugs and rave clothing.
It's an extension from it, though. There wouldn't be that
It
if there
is, but
wasn't
I mean,
a
so,
rave.
But so are festivals, though. You know, festivals a fucking rave, dude. I mean, we used to go to like.
But they're not as glowy, sticky, and like ravey. I feel and fist
I mean,
bumpy as like
well, it's
EDC.
just well, that's what I'm saying. So that basically
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like when I say EDM, you know, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. But his
Well,
his question was, how did I get into like EDM and shit? I mean, I first got into electronic music through like going to raves, and I got into drum and bass
Drum and
first.
bass.
You know, because like in Chicago, you would go to the rave and shit, and there would be like, you know, like house and techno and shit. But then there'd be like a room that's playing drum and bass.
Yeah.
And I never really liked house and techno too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not a huge fan of it.
It was
you
huge
know.
in Chicago,
Same.
too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. It still is really huge in Chicago. For the most part, it's not really my shit. So like
Agreed.
early on when you know I started going to raves and stuff, you know, I figured out that I was like, all right, well, out of the shit that's going on here, the drum and bass is definitely way more of my shit. And up until then, I was into like, you know, like some metal music and some like rap and hip hop. Like I started my first like musical like foray was like when I was probably like in 5th grade or so. I started getting into like rap, like gangster rap shit, you know what I'm saying? And I got really into Bone Thugs, which I still fucking love.
Bone Thugs is
just
fire.
like,
I try so hard.
yeah, they were definitely ahead of their time with the production and the fucking just everything, I feel like. So I like that was my first shit, and then I went to like back in my day, like when it's kind of funny to think about it now, but when you became a skateboarder, you pretty much had to like start listening to like Nirvana and shit like that. That's just how it worked. Like
Yes, it's an unwritten rule.
Yeah, well, it was before. Like now
Maybe
it's
some
cool.
NoFX.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
My brother's
so
about your age.
I was fucking listening to like, you know, like gangster rap and shit, and then I was just like, you know, I became like a skater. You know what I mean? Where at that time it didn't just mean you skateboarded. It meant you had to kind of like change your image into like grunge rock shit.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
I started-
lifestyle.
Yeah, it is. So I started listening to all that shit, which I still love. You know, I love Nirvana and like Stone Temple Pilots and shit like that. Like
Fuck yes.
like all that shit. Like I still have definite love for all that music. You know, and then later like Rage Against the Machine came around and shit like that, and obviously that shit's still relevant as fuck. Clearly.
Fucking love Rage.
Yeah,
Same.
you know what I'm saying. So like, that was my next shit, and I listened to that for a while, and then after that, I started getting into like more underground hip hop and shit. Like when that came more around into the skate scene, like back into the skate and snowboard scene, like hip hop came back around. So now it was like okay to be like, you know, like a hip hop oriented skateboarder or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. So then I
Yeah.
got more into that shit, and then at the same time, around the same time, like I went to like some, you know, my first raves and shit. Like I really like going to like outdoor like camping type raves and shit. You know, I got introduced to that, and I was like, this is fucking tight. Like this is a party. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when I got introduced to more like electronic music, and then I guess I got reintroduced to it, you know, in like 2008 or so with like Pretty Lights and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole, you know, whatever you want to call it, electro soul, or I mean, to me, it's basically hip hop.
It's
You know,
It's all hip hop breaks.
Yeah,
it's
it's
hip hop
know,
breaks,
just
but it's
chopped.
definitely electro
so you know,
soul
like whatever you want to call it. I guess I
with
like
a dub
you know,
bass line.
I
but it's not even
like
really dub.
I guess I like the term electro
it's a
soul. I
gritty
guess
bass line.
like to me, it's like it sounds cool. I mean, like it's what it is. Like, you know, it is soulful music and it's electronic.
My mind.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like
He's
that
a beast.
like that kind of shit got me into, you know, like where we are now. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, all right, like this isn't really like the kind of electronic music I'm used to with like drum and bass and shit like that. But I had already been listening to like shit like DJ Shadow and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was already into like, you know, more like some shit that had like more electronic elements than like your basic hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's kind of how I got here. And then
Who are
fucking, you know, like
You were showing me some unreleased music before we started this podcast, and it's definitely a lot of hip hop based. Who are some of your more inspirations in maybe today's hip hop? Do you get any inspiration from today's hip hop? Like some of those artists, or is it more the gangster rap
so
from back in the old days?
I'd say for me, it's definitely more back in the day.
back in the day.
Because like nowadays, like as far as like first of all, like when I was a kid and I was listening to hip hop, I really didn't give much of a shit about the beats. Quite honestly, I was more into the lyrics. I was like I said, I wasn't really like musically inclined or any sort of musician as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I had a lot of the shit I used to listen to actually once I actually like learned more about music and started making music, I went and re-listened to it. I was like, damn, this production is actually fucking dope. Like these beats are sick. And I never really noticed them. Like, you know, I was like, the beat's cool and shit, but it was never like, you know, because a lot of shit like some of the hip hop now, I could give a one fuck about the lyrics and be like, all right, but this beat is all right, especially as a producer stamp. Like a lot of that, like, you know, like mumble rap shit that I don't listen to, like
It's garbage.
I think it's garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Garbage.
But like, you know, like some of the beats, like as a producer, you could be like, all right, well, this one is definitely well made or whatever.
Yes.
Like, you know, there's that. But when I was a kid, I didn't really give a fuck about the beats. So like I had to like kind of go back and like re-examine like all that old shit. Like now that you know that's my shit. But as far as like influences or like as far as What do you say? Influences?
Kind of influences. Who do you like? Where do you get your inspiration to make your own hip hop kind of beats or?
I mean, to me, like I grew up on like the Chicago kind of like underground scene.
Yep.
You know, and with that there was like Atmosphere and like shit like that.
Yeah, that's
was,
what
like,
I was gonna say.
Just more Midwest shit. You know, like Brother Ali and like things like that. So I grew up on a lot of that shit. And like I feel like that in the Chicago like underground scene was pretty synonymous. You know, it was like the same type of vibe. And I really liked fucking battle raps. You know, I always liked battle rappers and shit because like I love that like punchline after punchline, just clever shit. Or also like the kind of raps where like the whole thing is like kind of bland, but it's like building up to one punchline, and then you're just like, oh shit, this whole thing was like bad. Yeah. You know, like I really love clever real lyricism. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of crazy that you said that you listened to the lyrics before the beat. Now you kind of listen to both. So I feel like I was the exact opposite because we got a podcast with Nick Coleon. He said hip hop is a lifestyle, and I felt like I kind of connected to that almost because I grew up listening to hip hop. I love hip hop, but I could never understand the lyrics or what they were really saying because I don't live that lifestyle. So I always knew hip hop tracks by their beat, but now I'm like I got into vocal
shit.
lessons and everything, so like I'm now starting to hear the lyrics.
Mom, what is a whip?
Now you're living a gang lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm able to memorize lyrics because I can hear them better because I listen to beats first.
For me, I definitely got into the hip hop lifestyle. I was a graffiti writer for a really long time.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? I was part of a few different crews in Chicago and shit at times, and so I definitely like. Was into like that hip hop, like the old school hip hop lifestyle. You know, especially with graffiti and shit. You know, a bunch of my friends were fucking like b-boys and shit. Yeah. So like we were kind of had like a little bit of a crew that was kind of like doing. You know, we didn't have at that time. The only thing we didn't really have was like a DJ or a producer.
Yeah. Because
I did have homies that were like You know, I'm talking about when I was like in my, like early teens and shit. So we did have homies at that point that were like starting to fucking spit pretty dope or like just at least get started. Shit. Yeah, but like one thing we didn't have, we had a couple of DJs, I guess, in the crew. Like they weren't really around as much as the other cats. Like, well, it's so like there was, but I just for me personally, there wasn't really like a lot of times where we would get together and there was like a DJ there or like somebody playing music or making music. There was a shitload of the time where we'd get together and it's like a bunch of graffiti artists and people are like doing canvases or drawing or fucking around, drinking, whatever we were doing. And there was and there was definitely a lot of times where like you'd have a bunch of people just spitting and fucking whatever. And there was some times where people were like breakdancing and shit, but not as much on that one, but we did definitely have some homies that were pretty dope. But for me personally, there wasn't nearly as many times as like music was being made or played. Like there was a couple of DJ homies that would play it, whatever, but and I think about it now, like
everyone's
all the fucking time, like people come to to my studio or like I come to a place like this, we jam or whatever the fuck, show each other new tracks, or nowadays we're recording live streams, whatever the fuck, or just fucking around DJing. There's way more of that than fucking. Yeah,
I feel like
ain't nobody breakdancing and shit.
That was huge. That was huge when you were a kid, though. I know my sister's your age, and there was so many graffiti artists, like our friends and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it was big back then.
It was a whole lifestyle.
It was a lifestyle, really, back in like the 80s.
It's still going, though. It's still going.
I mean, you always had people breakdancing,
early 2000s,
rapping. Like, I feel like back then, too, everyone wanted to be a rapper, which, not that they don't nowadays, but there was less producers, like what you're saying, almost.
Well, that's the
now
thing,
everyone
too.
has a laptop, and now there's way more producers than there are rappers.
Digital
almost.
audio workstations.
Well, that's the other thing, too. Like, it was, like, it's crazy how, like I was saying, like, I didn't really give a fuck about the beats, but nobody really did. Yeah. If you think about it, as far as, like, how, the notoriety and the money being made. There was even this RZA track where he was like, producer wants 7 points, I don't play that. Like, fucking, we go way back or some shit like that. Yeah. And I was just like, and like thinking about it now, it's like, shit. Like, unless you're just selling the beats, like, as a producer on a track, like, I want way more than fucking 7 points. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, now it's like, it's switched around. Because, like even, like I said, the shit that I like Bone Thugs and shit, like, I had no idea who the fuck made those beats when I was a kid. I didn't give a fuck.
The producer does everything nowadays. Because to me, most of the rappers today can't rap on beat. They don't know how to hit like different
or how to rap,
or anything, different
in
pitches. And it's that producer that puts their voice on beat. I watched this video of 21 Savage. He was producing or performing at halftime at a basketball game, and they showed a side by side of what he was singing and then the produced track he was singing. This man was off beat by like 3 seconds on every single word. And it was a #1 hit.
He's probably on lean.
And it was just like, it's because these producers are literally the producers behind the scenes.
It's the drum though. The drums are the prevalent part of the song.
They're putting their voice on beat. They're tuning their voice to be on beat. And it's like producers today, I don't think get enough credit.
No, well now they I feel like they finally get
they're starting
some.
To.
I mean, like I
way
said,
more
like,
than before.
Like back in the day, like I said, I had no fucking. I didn't even know Dr. Dre was a producer in the fact that like he makes the beats until like way after I was already introduced to the gangster rap shit. You know, because I just didn't really care because like I mean like the old school like term producer would literally mean, you know, like back in the day, it would be like the guy that puts together the band. They'd be like, all right, like this is the sound. This guy would be a good guitarist. This guy would be a good like you weren't really a music maker when you were the producer back at like, you know, in the old days.
Who's that one guy we always talk about?
Michael Jackson.
That weirdo. That
Rick Rubin.
Yeah. He doesn't do anything.
Well, he
pretty much.
No,
he does.
He definitely tracks songs.
Rick Rubin's like the beginning of kind of like the new school of it, but like basically it was like a composer. You know what I'm saying? Well, Quincy Jones did like a bunch of those.
That's what I was
Michael
thinking
Jackson
of.
Shit. Well, that dude though was
But he did everything.
Well,
like, he got credit though.
Yeah, but that's a different story.
He's just a freak.
That dude was a straight up fucking like musical genius.
Like Mozart.
He was a composer. You know, even if he didn't necessarily know how to play like a certain thing, he knew exactly what
he could write it.
You know, yeah, he could write it. Yeah, so that dude was at a different level. Than
he studied in like
people
France with this
But
orchestrator.
It's kind of crazy too that you were talking about because when we had our podcast with Nick Coleon, he talked about how his recording artists are never the same artists as like his live artists basically. And then when I had a conversation with you at your last show at your mom's house, you said that a lot of your basically recording artists are different than your live artists and it kind of opened my eye back to what a producer really is like. I can't play keyboard, so I'm going to go out and find the best cat that can play keyboard to play this part for me. And it kind of opened my eye to that.
Well,
that's really what a producer kind of does. They don't really
for me,
master, mix down, compose the entire track. They get the idea down.
That's kind of your style, isn't it?
And then they go find these artists
for me personally, though, you're wrong on that, actually.
Was I backward? Or?
The people that I have play live with me are mostly the people that
I thought you said you have, like... a keyboardist or something.
I do. I got Todd Stoops, and he plays.
Good job, Austin.
Okay.
He plays.
Sorry, I thought I heard.
Like Stoops.
The podcast is ruined. Thanks a lot, man.
We should stop.
Like, you go out and find these. Well, I think you mentioned though that you like have this fire keyboardist, and it's like I'm not gonna record yourself playing that when I can have my buddy who's a fire keyboardist.
Well,
I write down the idea because I'm the producer. You know. What I mean?
Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, this is all I can speak on because this is my experience. Like we're talking about the keyboardist that plays with me. His name's Todd Stoops. He's a ridiculous keyboardist.
Yeah.
He's an old school cat that just fucking shreds. And like me and him, when we first. You know, we became good friends and shit. And like when I first did like the first renditions of the 6th of July live band shit, you know, he was down to play, and you know, we put together some sets and stuff, and like, you know, and then once we actually sat down in the studio to start making music together, I didn't really know what to think because I was just like, I'm a pretty novice musician.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I've a fairly novice producer, really.
Was it overwhelming?
No.
First?
Well, it wasn't. At first, in my head, I was like, I hope this doesn't like turn into an overwhelming thing where it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But with us two, it basically just clicked right away, which was cool because, like I said, we're on a musically we're on a totally different level. But I'm, you know, I kind of like I know what I want.
Yeah, you would like write the idea and then have him basically perform.
Yeah, well, like I'll,
you
like we'll put, like I'll put a drum beat together or whatever the fuck. I'll lay down a bass line or something, and I'll be like, we'll
do your thing,
around.
not even write an idea.
Like, man, like I'm thinking like we got this one track it's an unreleased track. If you guys, I played it in my set at the last show. We were all at and shit, but it's a good example of this because we were like, we just started off like this intro and shit, and I was like, man, I want something like heart-shaped box, but not but not that same shit. But I want
that
something.
Vibe,
So,
I can picture
twist
that.
on it.
like we found a patch that was like that distorted, like fucking flangey guitar shit, and we're like, oh, this is it right here. Like, so I'm just like, Stoops, like, just give me some shit, like, let's give me like a fucking heart-shaped heart-shaped box, but like not the same melody, but like when you first hear it,
it's
like,
an energy.
Yeah, when you first hear it, you think heart-shaped box, but then when you listen to it a bit, you're like, all right, this isn't
different.
It's not completely different. It's not the same melody, but it definitely sounds similar.
That's inspiration.
And that's exactly what I wanted. I was like, I want heart-shaped box, but not.
Yeah.
And he laid some shit down. I chopped it up a little bit, and it was like, there it is. And then the other part of my project is Briscoe Jones. He's real sick turntablist. If you guys don't know him,
I know Briscoe. He's the man.
With this, like, from that, the Since July formula has basically been like, because I do like a couple different things. Like, there's tracks that are like I mean to write like with the band, like with me and Stoops write, and then we'll get Briscoe and be like, if he ever has any like input on like the production, like I always like to hear it. If it's something dope, we'll fuck with it. But some of the times, like he just wants to do the cuts, and I'm just like, yep, like here's what we got. He's like, that's dope. I'm like, I want cuts over here. Like, give me this vibe.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I got it. And like that's become like the Since July like formula for like the band tracks, and like pretty much out of the shit that I'm kind of sitting on right now, because I got a bunch of like shit that just needs to be finished up. There's a few collabs, a few like features with like vocalists.
They're all dope as fuck, by the way.
Thanks, thank you.
Can you shout out some of the rappers that are on there, or do you want to keep it hidden? Because there's some dope Chicago rappers that
No, I don't want to keep it hidden. I got a track. I have a track coming out that is almost done. That's the beat is a collab with my homie Mr. Bugatti. Shout out to Bugatti. He just fucking got engaged and shit.
He's part of the party people, right? Yeah.
Wait, party like
The party people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the first people I ever saw at Forest.
Yeah. So me and
That's crazy.
Me and Bugatti fucking he was actually like one of the cats that when I first started when I first got Ableton and shit, he was one of the cats that like actually like came over a lot and like showed me some shit. So my first track that I ever released at Since July was a collab track with Bugatti.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like so yeah, we have a track coming out with my homie Sarcastic from Chicago. Is a real dope rapper. I have a track with Looney Ando, who's on Mile House Sound.
Looney's the man. I love Looney.
You know what I'm saying? I have a track with Prob Cause, who's just fucking real sick fucking.
Cause.
He was with Grizz and shit, right?
Yeah. He's always doing shit with Grizz and
I
stuff.
want to say I might have saw him with
we saw him at Forest.
And then
might have been Grizz.
yeah, so I got a few vocal tracks like that, and then I got a couple collabs. I got a collab with Homemade Spaceship that's like finished and done. That's probably gonna be the next thing that's out.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a couple with
Rab.
with Rab with Underlux, and then let's see what else.
You showed us this like Australian.
Yeah, that's a homie that I work with and shit. I don't even I'm not even sure like what name it's gonna be released under as far as him.
Yeah.
He's been fucking around with like a couple different like stage names.
So
or
he's
whatever.
brand new.
He's kind of, I don't know if he's exactly brand new or rebranding or whatever, but like I like his vibe, and like I want to make a few tracks with him.
It's unique
because he's definitely got
Yes.
he's got a bunch of ideas, and it's all pretty simple, like melodic hip hop shit. So it's not gonna be one of those beats that's gonna take months to like dial in.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you're making like vocal hip hop beats, like that's
the vocals, everything's the background.
Right. That's a faster process than making like crazy electronic shit that's like super
atmosphere,
long.
reverb.
So I'm just like, as I'm trying to just make.
I am Lord.
Yeah, I'm trying to like just have like like I said, I got like the hip hop shit, I got like the band shit, and then I got like the collabs / like more electronic type tracks. So I'm kind of sitting on a few of each of those, and they're gonna be starting to come out like here. soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I just, like I said, I
I
mean,
think you'll wait till
I-
like the end of COVID for more like business reasons.
No, man, I'm just I'm just procrastinating, quite
Yeah.
honestly. Like I have since all this COVID shit, and I've, like I said, I've been working a full time
Stop
job
doing
again.
that.
Well, dude, it's fucking hard, man. Like I come home, I'm tired and shit. I don't want to make music every day. Like I wish you did.
I do. I know they suck your soul out. Your
so
best 8 hours.
It's just like it
life,
is what it is.
life is hard.
But luckily, I have.
Space is hard.
Space is hard.
I do have a decent bit of music that just like needs to be finished up and polished up, and
There's some final tweaks, man. I gotta say, like, you're pretty new into this shit. Musically, I'm a fucking fan. Honestly, there's
Yo, tell us
he's gonna have
about.
some dope shit.
Tell
coming
us
out.
about playing at Mission Ballroom. For anyone that doesn't know, Mission holds like what 4,000 people
Yeah.
or
It's
some
one
shit
of the
like
newest
that.
venues
Brand
here,
new venue
Oh.
in Denver.
the Mission Ballroom is fucking awesome. My last show, other than that little limited capacity thing at your mom's house that we did not long ago, that was my last like real show. And it's cool because I got to go out with a bang for sure. It was definitely my biggest show. For anybody that doesn't know, the Mission Ballroom is the newest venue in Denver. It's 4,000 capacity. The stage moves so you can actually have less. You can have like
Yeah, it's like
2,000, but
retractable.
Yeah,
we had
it's pretty crazy.
It was the Floozies, So Down, Anomaly, and myself, and it was a sold out show. It was fucking awesome. I played from like 8 to 8:25, so I was the opening slot, and by the end of my set, there was, I don't know, maybe like 2,000 people, maybe a little less, maybe I don't know. Like some people,
Sick.
it's like some people said it was up to that. Like that were the homies in the crowd. And I was just like, it was hard for me to see exactly how many. I didn't think it was.
You
quite,
didn't count them all?
Well, I for being a tour manager, I'm not too bad at looking.
Fair
at the
enough.
crowd and being
I'll
like,
give you that. I'm
'cause
pretty.
You always got those managers hitting you up, being like, "What's the count? What's the tickets and shit?" So like, I did know that, but it was, I definitely like when I was on stage, I was like, this is definitely like a decent crowd, but people were saying that maybe it was like up to 2,000 or whatever by the end of my set. So it was definitely my biggest show by far, and it was fucking awesome. Everything about it was great. They let me use the full video wall, which was fucking like, I don't know, the whole size of the whole fucking stage. My sound was good. Like they didn't like drown me out or nothing.
So
Was that a DJ set or a live band set?
No, it was a DJ set. It was gonna be a live band set, but I didn't know that my set was so short.
Yeah,
until
so
the
short
end.
opening set. It's like almost
Yeah,
not
it was
worth
25 minutes. So
25 minutes?
yeah, which is cool. Whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
It's not 0 minutes.
Dude,
That's
I
for
was-
sure.
yeah,
That's
Played
for
at Mission
sure.
Ballroom.
Yeah,
I would have done it.
Yeah, I was not complaining whatsoever about it. Like I said,
still,
by the
fuck
end of my
that, dude.
set,
They
there
should
was a
give you more
shitload of
time.
People, and
minimum should be 30.
Yeah, at least 30
I mean,
minutes.
whatever the fuck. Like I said, I didn't give a fuck. I played some of my newer tracks at the time. I had Sarcastic come out and rap with me on the last track and shit. He was in town, and so it was fucking awesome. Just all around. The staff was professional. Like everything about it was dope. Like
Yeah.
there was nothing about it that wasn't.
Do you feel like you
absolutely dope.
killed the set and everything?
Yeah, I felt great about it.
That's
I
dope.
think I
That's
played
perfect.
good. It sounded, everybody said it sounded good. I
The
ask for
venue's so
anything better
beautiful,
than-
man.
Yeah, no, I couldn't ask for anything better for his last, for like where I'm at as an act.
Yeah.
For that being my last show for now first
Uh-huh.
the last real like
Last
fucking.
real show.
It's a good
That's
last show.
definitely
Yeah, I feel
that's
like
that's a milestone too, man.
Yeah,
That's-
I've only been there once before that, for FKJ like in March or whatever.
Shout
the
out
fuck it was.
FKJ.
Fucking
freak.
So I checked that shit out and I was like, man, this fucking venue is dope, dude. What the fuck? So I was just like, man, I can't wait to play here, obviously. And I was lucky enough to fucking get the call for that show.
Yeah.
People
That's
told
dope.
me
What's
too that,
what's
like-
you? Oh, go ahead. Nope,
People
go
told me too that this venue, for people listening, that no matter since the stage is retractable, kind of what he said, that no matter what size your show is, whether it's 50 people to 4,000 people, it seems like a a sold out show, like intimate show, by the way the stage retracts?
Well, I would.
Is that kind of true?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say
Because it makes
if
it
there
like
was
a
if
force
if
and
well if
smaller?
there was 50 people in there, you
maybe
it
not
would still
50,
get-
but, like,
no, it moves
you know what
from
I mean?
There's stadium stands there
It's
and
just
shit.
Yeah.
like it moves
So,
like
yeah.
basically
It's layered.
to close it down, it's
Yeah,
layered.
it
to
moves-
where it
yeah.
seems like it's a sold out show
Yes.
almost. No matter
Well,
I see what you're
how
saying. Yeah.
many people are
Yeah.
there. Whether
Sold
they-
out, yes. Intimate, maybe
Yes.
Well,
so like
they-
if their
they do-
smallest sold out is 1,000.
It's 2,000
or
smallest.
2,000. You would
Yeah.
feel like it's a 4,000 show because the way that.
Well, you
stage
wouldn't feel
retracts.
you wouldn't feel like a 4,000 show. You just feel like a sold out show
Yeah.
at 2,000.
well, I mean, you would never know in the crowd that it's 2,000. That's right.
I would.
Would you know it's
You're a
4,000?
tour manager. I just mean because everyone's going to be shoulder to shoulder. It feels like
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Well, yeah.
intimate.
It
because
just
the way
feels
the
like
stage
yeah.
moves it
Yeah,
back
exactly.
and farther
That-
to
yeah,
allow more
that-
people.
yeah.
and
It's
way
kind of like
more
when you're
people.
talking about your penis size. You know, it's
Exactly,
like that's
the way
definitely
it grows.
4,000 people, at least.
Yes.
What's your live setup? Is it the scratcher
live
keyboard?
setup for-
Are you playing bass?
For my live setup for like the band.
Performance, yeah.
Yeah.
DJ
So
would obviously just be
I
himself.
play on CDJs
Yes.
and on my live band or my DJ sets, and that's how I just queue up whatever tracks we're doing.
Okay.
And I use Serato through CDJs.
Because it's
Yeah.
a real DJ software.
We had a
do you
huge
remember the
discussion
argument
about
we got
this.
in?
Yeah, so what do you think's better for DJing, Ableton or Serato?
We had an
Oh.
argument about this.
The first time we met, we got into.
Oh, I remember that. Well, Ableton's not a DJ software. You can DJ on it,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not. You know, it's like
just
you.
a pain in the ass
It's like,
to
are you
set up.
are you fucking producing on Serato? No. So I just like it. I mean, I produce in Ableton, but
How are you like? I wouldn't be able to know how to set up to where your band can play over like a Serato track. As in Ableton, you could almost like solo or like silent, basically like a guitar bass part for you to be able to play the bass live.
Me and my
Oh,
buddy.
Do you do that in Serato or like do you
no,
just
we just
record it with maybe out the bass? so
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
play it
yeah,
live?
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I'll have like, I mean, most of the track like so. There's either I mean, it's just like anything else. Like you'll either be playing over something or you'll take it out.
Yeah,
but
okay.
you have to do it before.
Do you usually
know.
play over some or do you usually take it out? I don't know how that really works. In live.
I
Is
usually like. I mean,
How does that usually work basically in any atmosphere of singing, playing live at any show? Like, do they usually play over? Do they take parts out and play it?
I guess it depends on your skill level and
Yeah.
shit. Like, for me, like I still mostly play over my own
Uh-huh.
tracks, but I mean, like the bass lines, you know, like like you definitely hear it.
Yeah.
You know, the bass playing over it because it's playing over the master track where the bass line might not be prominent or whatever.
Exactly.
So and then yeah, so like with when I do my live setup, with Stoops and Briscoe, like for Stoops, I definitely take out everything that because if it's an original track, like I'll just take out
he'll just kill
part.
it.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean,
Or he'll just change it up even from the original.
yeah.
and
So
just feel it
so
in
with
the
him,
moment.
it's just like we'll go through. Usually, like we'll go through the set like a couple of times prior. If it's especially if it's an important show or whatever.
yeah.
So it's like, and he, we're me and him are in a very like same vibe. So it's very easy to just be like, check out the set. Like here, like I'll be like, maybe, like check it out. I like left this super empty for you. This is where you can kill it. And then like him and Briscoe go back and forth. Briscoe will scratch and go all crazy and shit.
Yeah.
And Stoops will fucking rip it. And I just hold like a bass line or something.
Now that you mention it, I feel
Yeah.
like most people do play over, like when I've seen on kind of TV, because you hear that that backing vocal still.
The only
coming
problem with
through
that
and
then is
everything.
you get so much like interference and
Really?
shit. Some you can.
You have to be like
But,
on
like,
it
I
too, because
definitely,
like
like,
let's
when
say
I'm
this
watching on
vocal's
TV,
going
a
and your
live
vocal's
show,
right
yeah,
here
like, I'm
and it's
hearing
off a
that
little
backing
bit,
vocal
and then
a
it's
lot of
gonna
times.
be off.
But maybe
That's
they're, like,
vocals are different, man.
Yeah.
That's a whole other fucking. I mean, you see, like,
Dude,
what was
music
there?
is fucking
Wasn't it
complicated.
Ashley Simpson on the fucking Saturday Night Live got caught lip syncing or whatever? Like,
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, back
there's
in
a
the
bunch of
day.
people that got caught lip singing back in the day, but
Yeah.
people
That's
got called out
embarrassing.
so
But
much
people
in
do
like the
that, though. Like,
2000s.
that's what you do when you're at fucking Saturday
Didn't
Night
you tell
Live.
me
Like,
that
I mean,
this-
it sucks, I guess, but like, I mean,
Well,
that's how
Didn't you
music
tell me
videos
the
and
Super
shit
Bowl
are made.
requires
yeah,
you
it's
to
just the
lip
Super
sync?
Bowl requires you the whole band to like play over a track other than the vocals.
What?
Yeah, it's like part of it because
They're just
for it to be
airplaying the
perfect?
drums.
yeah, because stadium acoustics are so
them.
shitty.
That's not fucking
It's very
music.
hard to master. Yeah, stadium.
Well, that's the whole
acoustics.
point of being a live band.
But it's the Super Bowl. They
But
don't
it's
really.
like
It's not
you're
a
playing in a
concert.
stadium like 100,000 people.
That's the whole point of being a live band. Play
it's not the
that
band.
shit.
It's
You're
not
one of the
the-
best musicians, and
It's
you
not
worked
the
so hard at
band,
that
it's your
point.
sound engineer, and it's the way the
Well,
building's built.
Not even that.
I've been to so many
Here's what I'm
good
saying,
live
though.
concerts.
It's
that
not-
have
Have
so
you been
many
to
people.
a stadium though, like an NFL stadium?
I've been to a stadium. Yes,
And
I
they
saw
suck.
Guns N' Roses
They
at a
suck.
stadium.
They suck comparatively.
No,
yeah.
And the sound
They
would
were
be horrible.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, but it's not good compared to like a real
Yeah, the
venue.
sound
with,
would
like,
be
a good
horrible
acoustic.
compared
I saw the
It'd be
Guns
way
N'
better
Roses
than
at Mile
Guns N'
High. And it was
That's so-
pretty not that impressive.
Yeah, the acoustics
I saw
would be horrible.
I saw.
If you heard them now, they would be horrible compared
Yo,
to like.
here's what I'm
What do you-
saying.
the
Here's what I'm
master
saying.
You could record the audio.
If it was a concert, then yeah, of course they're not going to lip sync.
Oh, live
it's the Super
TV,
Bowl.
yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, yeah, they don't give a shit about the fucking Rolling Stones.
It's not the point of the Super Bowl. It's the point of live television.
Yes.
Compared to
No, it's
seeing
the
it.
point of it that like
Well, it's huge.
No.
They can't afford to fuck up.
I'm saying
wanted
There'd be
to-
so many
yeah.
people like screaming. And
You
I
shit
can't
guess
like
afford
that, that
to
they would
beat
have
the
to
Jonas
do that
Brothers.
audio.
what I'm
Fuck
saying
up
is that
that
they don't
lead
care
guitar.
about artistic integrity because of the Super Bowl. That's
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't give,
They don't give a shit if
it's,
someone's
it's all
lip-syncing.
about just. I mean, that shit makes sense.
It's just about
like,
getting
I
the
mean,
best
but
sound
you know
quality
what?
for television.
Fucking,
and
if you're
for
at the
stadium
point,
and for shit like that,
you know, if you're at the point of playing the fucking Super Bowl halftime show and you're not willing to like fucking lip sync your guitar or whatever the fuck, like.
Well, that's what I said
it's
about
just like,
the Chili
know,
Peppers. Like,
yeah, like by
they're
that
all
point, you
clearly
already know.
they're all clearly amazing musicians. They have nothing to prove. But if it's like, hey, either you get to play the Super Bowl and you have to do this, or you don't. I don't know. Some
Well,
people might turn
like
it
I said,
down,
by
but
that-
I would say yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna lip sync that bitch.
By that,
You're
I know
probably
I can
getting
play.
I feel like by that
paid.
time,
Getting paid so much. Yeah.
Cha-ching.
I wonder how much. We should probably look that up. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
look
look
I
that
that
feel
up.
up.
like
How
by
much do they
that
pay for
time,
that shit?
and if you're as big as the Chili Peppers and shit, like you've already been through that situation.
Yeah,
Because first of all, that's how music videos are made.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you're already like well versed. It's not like you just fucking like come to the Super Bowl and you're like, what, man? We have to fucking lip sync? Like, I have never ever seen or experienced anything like this in my whole fucking 20 years of being a rock star. At this point now.
Super Bowl halftime artists are not paid to perform,
That's bullshit.
Wow.
but they probably get. That's one of the most
Well, who
watched.
the
That's one of the most
Yeah.
watched things.
How many people watch?
ever.
Can you look that up? How many people watch the Super Bowl
I don't
on
know.
average?
Like, I don't know where you looked that up or how true it is because
It's on
fucking nothing is
NFL.
true.
It's on
Everything is
NFL.
true. But like,
It's the first thing that came up on
It's
Google.
on, it's on
definitely true.
NFL.
yeah, I would go ahead.
No, I believe
I mean,
it.
even if I would go ahead and believe it because like, I mean,
Yeah,
you're
it's probably
literally
just to
like.
get your name out because you've already made a name.
So many people. 100 million.
100 million people watch the Super Bowl.
So
That's crazy.
just for you
A
playing
third
for
of our
free,
country.
you get 100 million people to see you.
Also, nobody who is being asked to play the Super Bowl needs
Needs
any more
it.
money.
Yeah, yeah. They don't need
Very
money.
true.
None of those people are hurting for cash.
Dude, that last Super Bowl performance though, of
Dude, Shakira.
and fucking
Shakira,
J-Lo
Shakira.
was
Yeah, that chick's probably
Good as
still
fuck.
rich.
Oh, yeah.
like, they're both
For sure.
Plus, you
J-Lo and
fucking
Shakira,
plus with
loaded.
fucking that
Look
kind
up-
of shit. Like
Look
you
up
could be
both
like,
their net worths.
you know, think about like your.
Yeah, we should look
Shakira
up shit
and
more
J-Lo.
on this podcast. You have the laptop right
I'm gonna
there.
be like Jamie.
Yeah, you're good.
you know, you can
Jamie,
think
can
about
you
the
pull that shit up? Tyler, can you pull that
Jennifer
shit up,
Lopez is a net worth of $400 million.
What about Shakira?
Mother
That's a
of
fucking
God.
lot of money.
What about those hips don't lie?
I bet you,
She can
Shakira might be
fucking- she can
more.
Go ahead and play the
Shakira's
Super Bowl
less.
for free.
Shakira's definitely less than
Shakira's
J-Lo.
definitely
J-Lo's
less
an
than
actress.
J-Lo.
I know,
Yeah.
but like the thing is, I think
I'm
about
gonna
the
guess
Hispanic
Shakira's
community,
in the
like going like,
50s
but
to
she's
70
also
I'm gonna
Hispanic
guess
too.
Shakira's
So like getting that
58.
like around the world shit, you know, like South America,
Fair
and
enough.
stuff
Shakira's
like that.
50 to
Good
80
point.
mil.
But
I
J Lo's
see what you're
also
saying.
Yeah, but
Hispanic.
I mean, Shakira's like from like South America or some shit, so she probably has a huge fan base.
I
there.
mean, she's 300 million.
Wow.
Dude, she's 300 million.
That's way more than I
I'm
thought
guessing
too.
50
That's
to 80.
Okay.
in my
Yeah.
mind, dude. That's 300 million, 400 million. That's like pretty much
She's
the
got.
same thing.
Do you know why? Because they
You're
got
all
the.
good either way, right
Yeah,
there.
that's all good.
It's
dude.
the double. It's a double market.
It's probably because Shakira's the only fucking.
It's a double market of
Well,
having America
besides that
and
one
in,
girl
like
that got
South
murdered,
America
but one of the
and
only
Spain.
popular
Well, first of
South
all
American
all those artists that are
artists.
that size are already fucking international. I mean, J Lo could go play in China for fucking $10 million.
Oh
Good
yeah,
point.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Doesn't matter. When you're that big, you're already a fucking.
Yeah.
You're touring the world and crushing it in every
Dude,
fucking place.
this is a random thought, but when I was a kid, my dad had this thing on his like. It was on his laptop. It was like some like thing probably one of his fucking friends sent him that was funny. But it was J-Lo at a music video, and it was like J-Lo has a personal. It was like memes before they were memes. It was like J-Lo has a
was J-Lo?
personal nipple tweaker,
so sprightly.
and she has this fucking person tweaking her nipples to make them stick out more through her shirts.
Wait.
So she goes and does the dance moves, and like in the video, her nips are like sticking out. And
Wait,
shit.
J Lo's?
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait, can
what
we look
movie?
this
What?
picture
What?
up?
Look up. Look up.
Put a picture of it like on
Should we
the
look up
video.
one shit?
Well, was this like a meme thing or was this like a real thing?
No,
Was
it's a
this
real thing. Like for her music video,
I
they
would
wanted
marry
her
Shakira
nips
over
to
J-Lo.
pop out more, and so they had someone like squeeze her nips to like, make them all hard and like stick out of her fucking
Like
shirt.
for the music video?
And that's
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
manipulation.
no,
It's
it's just,
manipulation over guys.
you
You're-
relax.
You're
Oh,
putting you're making your nipples hard
cancelled.
to manipulate me to be turned on by you. And
that's what a music
duh.
video is.
Yeah, duh. Have you ever
Well,
watched any music video?
all these people are getting canceled for it, and
All right, that's a little different.
I'm getting manipulated through music videos.
You've
I
been-
think
well,
Shakira wants
you've-
to fuck me through these music videos. By
Well, you're wrong.
She definitely doesn't want to fuck
Shakira
you.
does not want to fuck you in any manner. She's got $300 million.
You have like
tonight, but not for
$3. You literally have like $3. She has 300 million.
I got-
You have 3.
Look up his order. Like,
Austin Miller's.
I can barely afford my bills each month.
That'd be hilarious if you could look up like our net worths on Google. Like,
Oh, that'd be
what's
terrible.
Matt
That's
Rick's
fucked up.
net
That's how it
worth?
is. Like,
I guarantee
like you heard about that shit in
$2.
China now, where they're using like like everyone's personal score.
Yes,
Kinda
I
like
heard- it's
depending
like
on,
Black Mirror, dude.
Dude, we're fucking a simfuculation, dude. We're a simulation.
simfuculation.
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 Yo, I didn't believe
We're like a
in
video
it
game,
till,
man. It's
like,
crazy.
The more you said it, and then the more Matt and I think I talked about like aliens and shit, and then the more you said it
We're
again,
human hybrid. We're
I
alien
kinda
hybrids.
believe it.
We're
Like,
alien hybrids. Our frontal
we didn't
cortex.
come from fucking
No, the
nothing.
thing is, our frontal cortex expanded like 25% in an
I
astonishing
think you're
number.
just talking about your own forehead.
Huh?
I think
Yeah,
you're
I
just
think
talking
it's
about your own forehead.
That's because
The
it came
frontal
down from the
cortex
trees
is
and
what
started eating
makes
fucking
you a
mushrooms.
human
Frontal
being.
Yes.
cortex.
So
You're talking about your own
Yeah.
forehead
All right, hold on.
extended,
Yo, let's
like
all
your head.
focus.
How big it is?
My own? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
think you're
smart.
the only
How
next.
big is your cortex? Just look at the size head.
Yeah.
I got right.
Mine's big as fuck.
Right here.
Tyler's got the biggest head I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
I'm also fucking dumb.
Yeah, but also
Hey,
like,
you're sort
hold on. Look at a T-Rex. A T-Rex's head was way bigger
You're
than
more alien or less
a
alien?
T-Rex's
yeah,
head
but a
was way
T-Rex
bigger.
can't touch his dick.
I'm just saying, a T-Rex's head was
That's
way
why I
bigger.
was so pissed.
Head size.
That's why he was a predator.
No.
He's like, I gotta kill everything.
I can't even
beat
I can't even fucking
Yeah,
jack
he's
it.
got a fucking 80-foot dinosaur that can't beat off, so he just killed everything.
All I'm saying is that head size. All I'm saying is that head size clearly does not correlate with intelligence. So sorry, Tyler, you're out on this one, bro.
I just said I was dumb, you stupid bitch.
I'm just saying he's like Tyler's head is huge. I'm like, what is?
Yeah, and I
shit.
literally said it's because I'm fucking
I'm
dumb.
not saying what you said. I'm saying what he said.
I can't. This is the best conversation.
But maybe you could be
The worst conversation ever.
Oh, I will headbutt the fuck out of somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
But dude, I've always been really bad at like skateboarding and snowboarding because I'm just fucking top heavy. I'm just like a fucking like pendulum, just like
I got this big head, these little arms.
Jesus
Fucking T-Rex
Christ.
over here, dude.
Dude, I fucking want to go snowboarding right now.
Have you been
and
this
the
year?
season got cut off short this year.
Yeah.
They're not doing it because of COVID.
Yeah, they.
No,
one
they're
of
just
them
saying like the
long
past
gone, but
season.
Yeah,
Okay.
they shut it down.
This upcoming
like,
season.
They didn't
no.
open it back up or anything.
Oh no.
No.
I went to
I don't know
Winter
anything
Park
about the
I think it was March like 15th or something.
it's
and then it was
summertime
closed
now,
like the next
so-
one.
I
Yeah, it
don't
is
know
the summertime.
anything about the snowboard world. I see snow. I think people are still like
Where the
snowboarding.
fuck do you see snow?
There's snow on top of the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody rides on the top.
Okay,
of the
but
mountains.
like that's my knowledge of snowboarding because I don't fucking know.
Well, you gonna learn today, boy. All right,
Just
we're
look
gonna
out
learn
the
about
window and shit, be
snowboarding.
Like, look, it's fucking.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's snow. There's fucking snow at like 13.
Let me tell you the main thing you need to know. If
When's
you
the season?
If you French fry when you're supposed to pizza, you're gonna have
Gonna
a bad
have a
time. All right.
Okay, I know that for sure. I'm an actual pro at
Have you
that.
ever seen that one? And then like it just keeps taking the parents back into that fucking like condominium like
Yeah.
timeshare
Yeah.
fucking presentation. Dude, I went to Vegas with my buddy. First time I went there when I was 21, and we went with his grandma, and the whole reason she got a free trip to Vegas because she promised she would go to a timeshare presentation.
I did one of those once.
It
and
was
I got
awesome,
a fucking trip
dude.
to Vegas.
Yeah, it was
I
sick.
gave it to my parents because I was like
I would do it again.
22.
That
Yeah, I did
you
wanna
you
go.
just tell them the whole time like, yo, we took this free trip and we have no interest in buying a timeshare, and they still try to totally sell you on it.
It's their job.
Of course,
Dude, my dad
yeah,
got
of course, good
fucked.
point.
My dad got fucked.
You bought one?
Well, he bought one, and then
Of course you get fucked.
Got suckered in.
So-
some fuck shit thing.
they have a funny ass story. It's with my mom. My stepmom got so mad because the guy like came up and was like, "Hey, how's it going, Dave?" And my dad would not shake his hand. He's like, "Fuck you. You fucked me. He fucking lied." And my stepmom was like, "David." He's like, "No, fuck him. He fucking lied to me."
Dude, I went on one of those things once. It was in fucking you guys are from Illinois. It was like some fucking like I don't even know what fucking place in Illinois. Like something like that's like 45 minutes like southeast of like Orland Park or something. Like out of the city.
like Plano or some shit, like
Something
Sandwich.
Like that. Yeah, something like that.
Sandwich.
Not quite Sandwich.
Do you know that they're making a town between Plano and Sandwich? It's going to be called Bologna. It's going to be Plano Bologna Sandwich.
I know.
That's the coolest.
You
thing
only
I've
know
ever
that
heard
if
in
you
my
know
life.
people from
That's
Plano.
the
I
dumbest
don't know
shit I've
shit
ever
about
heard.
that, but it was somewhere the fuck out of like it was in the middle of nowhere, Illinois, but not like terribly far from the city.
Yeah.
It was probably 45 minutes outside of Chicago or some shit, like in like the Orland Park fucking area. You know, just like after all
like Oswego. Trying to think.
It doesn't matter.
some
right?
shit, whatever. It was whatever, but that's not the point. But out there, somewhere where I wouldn't want a fucking timeshare is the goddamn answer.
That's what I pictured.
But
Somewhere
so
shitty.
it's like this. I mean, like, 'cause when you think of timeshares, you think of like, you know, like I
Somewhere shitty.
Somewhere that
I would
sucks.
think, I would think of a timeshare in like Vail or Aspen or something for snowboarding. Like that makes sense to me. Like now, that would like I still probably would get one, but like I would definitely want to go use that for 2 weeks out of the year or whatever. Especially if I didn't live out here, and I was just taking vacations and shit. And then like you think of timeshares in like Florida or some shit like on the beach because everybody just go to the fucking beach for vacations.
Somewhere actually nice.
So then like this shit is a fucking timeshare in the middle of fucking Illinois.
Jesus.
With like it's got like a golf course and a pool and this fucking like these little apartments or whatever. And I was just like I was young too. I was like in my early 20s and shit. Like I did the same thing. They sent it to me and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. It ain't shit. It was like on a Saturday and then you get like a free ticket to Vegas or a free fucking DVD player or whatever the fuck was hot back then. You know what I mean? And all this shit. And I got there and I was just like, there was this young chick that was like showing me around too. And it was really funny because I was like, I don't know, we could bullshit and like drive around, but I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm buying this. This is fucking stupid, obviously. But like, it was
I like how think about the guy like. That's like rock bottom when you're selling timeshares in Oswego, Illinois. I feel bad for that guy.
yeah, this chick.
What are you doing, bro?
It was weird too.
What are you doing?
It was definitely that vibe. I was like, you're like,
It's equivalent to Arby's.
well, that's it. It's like anything else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as any other, it's like, as any profession, there's like the high level.
There's levels to this shit.
And then there's fucking, it's like if you're selling timeshares in Aspen, you're probably fucking dropping dick on the game.
Oh yeah, you're probably getting paid.
Selling fucking timeshares at some bullshit golf course pool in Oswego, Illinois, or something. You're
fun.
definitely like, you're not the hotshot of that industry. Like when the convention comes, you're not the fucking one everybody wants to fuck with.
There's levels to this shit, honestly,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, that was what's so funny about the Vegas one. They start off, they're like, $20,000 a year, you get this beautiful place, blah, blah, blah. We're like, no. Bring you to another room. Okay, for $10,000 a year, you get half the size, but it's still beautiful. I swear to God, man, by the last one, I'm not even fucking kidding. They're like, all right, here's what's really going on. They're like, people are going into foreclosure on these timeshares like crazy. You spend $500 down right now and $80 a month, and you get this and this because we need people to buy them. And I was like, oh my God, I was 21. I didn't have any money, but I was like, that actually sounds like a badass deal at this point. I was like sold on it.
Dude.
But I was like, fuck, that's the
Oh
whole
my
game,
God.
man. It's fucked up.
That reminds me of the funniest fucking shit, dude. Funniest shit. It was just those like QVC shows that do that shit. Same
Yes.
fucking principle. Where
Right.
they're like, this is $1,000, and if you watch it long enough, it's like $40.
Dude,
this
it's
shit-
insane.
I still got a little bit, but I'll probably drink another one.
Like, again, South Park, like fucking, we're
Dude, this is exactly the shit.
$7 million topaz
dude,
right here.
This thing right here, this
Let it
story
go for
is exactly that shit, but in real life. We were at so this was when I was on tour with the Floozies a few years ago during their winter run. We were staying in Frisco. This is probably like 2017 maybe, and we were staying in Frisco, and it was me and their laser guy Hunter. We were sharing a room, and we were just up late, chilling, smoking weed, whatever. And this show we were watching, it was like a QVC thing where this dude was selling a giant fucking set of like knives and swords, like a fucking shitload of these things. And like it was funny to me because I used to like that shit when I was a kid.
Me too. I love knives.
Swords. Yeah, I still have a bunch of them just laying around the house, like stupid ass like ninja weapons and shit from when I was a kid. I mean,
That's sick though.
I mean, like I have a couple cool ones, but like mostly they're pretty shitty.
Did you guys ever get like throwing stars?
I have a shitload of them, dude. I used to fucking throw them at my wall.
Oh, my mom would kill me
Yeah,
too.
no, I'm saying like after I moved out.
I'm talking about when I was a
20s,
kid.
getting drunk as hell,
Kid.
whipping ninja stars in my fucking living room and shit. But this shit was the funniest thing because like like this guy was selling like a fucking set of like ninja swords and knives, and it was like 200 fucking pieces. And at first he's like, $1,149. You get all this shit. It's like a whole fucking wall, like bigger than this whole fucking place.
I might have done
That's like, no, but check it out. It was fucking hilarious because like this thing is like, they're like, he's like, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, and like we were just chilling there watching it for like I don't know a good while, and like you know how those things are. They're like, all right, well today only instead of $1,100, it's gonna be fucking $800, and it's like, all right, you chill, and then it's $400 and shit. It's fucking
Just goes down.
Yeah, and eventually it goes to like 3 easy payments of like $39.99 or some shit.
Now you got credit.
Dude, that's
no
what got
interest.
to. Yeah, and then but the funniest part about this shit was at one point this dude, it was like some redneck ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And fucking
Were they nice? Were they good quality?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. It was bad.
No, of course. At the end, it ended up being 3 payments of $39.99 for like fucking 200 knives. You know what I'm saying? They're the kind of knives you can just like,
Made out of aluminum.
dude, you could have throwing knives that you don't even fucking reuse and shit. At that point, you'd be like, order them up, $39.99. Fucking, I'll give you another round and shit. I'll fucking whip these things at the wall, whatever. the fuck.
One-time use.
Yeah.
One time.
So, but dude, it was. But the funniest part of this thing was hilarious. This dude, like, because you could tell, like, I'm pretty sure not that many people were buying them. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, and you're on this fucking show for like an hour trying to fucking push these knives, and it was funny to me because I was like, it would be really hard to come up with shit to say. But like, come on, folks, like, if you don't like them for $400, like. Maybe for $200 you'll buy them. I mean, like, there's not, like, once you go through them, there's not that much to say. Like,
It just gets
yeah,
more sad
yeah,
every single time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is where I'm getting to. It was getting sad. It was getting sad. And this fucking dude, I swear, said this. He was like, like, come on, folks, like, blah, blah, this and shit. And he's like, you got like you got a son or a son-in-law and shit, that doesn't have like a job or something. Put him at the end of the driveway with these fucking knives. I was just like, what the fuck did he just say?
That's rock bottom.
Yeah, I was like, what? It's like, what? Junior, your fucking lemonade stand didn't work? Here's 200 fucking knives of real terrible quality. Go to the fucking end of the driveway and sell this shit? What the fuck kind of a suggestion is that? I was like, where the fuck are you? Where your shitty son-in-law that can't get a job at the fucking McDonald's or some shit.
That's the most American thing I've ever heard.
Yes, it was.
Start a knife selling stand.
Exactly. It was American as fuck. I was just like, that's what I kind of thought too. I was like, this is definitely American as fuck. Your son doesn't have a job? What? I'm selling fucking knives in the fucking driveway. I was just like,
That's ratchet as
It was
fuck,
exactly
too.
like that South Park shit with the thing. It was just like,
Sir, why don't you kill yourself?
Yeah.
You are the scum of the earth, and you take
it's
advantage of old people and kill yourself.
Fucking selling, fucking.
No, that's not very nice. You shouldn't say that.
He's like, but for fucking instead of $1,100, you could have all these swords and shit for literally 120. How's that sound? And if you get tired of all these things sitting around, which you will, because who the fuck wants 200 fucking poor quality knives?
Yo, the
swords.
That's so many bad quality
Dude,
knives.
can you even imagine that package and shit? It's gotta be like the size of this fucking table, and they're all just. It looks like a table at a dirty flea market back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You're just like,
Oh yeah, just all like
just
wooden
all-
shitty knives.
just all little fucking knives and like fake switchblades.
$1
and shit.
each.
Yeah, they're all like $5, whatever the fuck. It's like it's literally a giant package that comes to your house full of that.
The fact that we're on episode 8 and that we don't have a samurai sword for the podcast studio yet is.
I'm buying
embarrassment.
one.
Yeah, we definitely need one.
I have a whip.
I got you guys. I got extra swords at the house.
You got to
Okay.
connect. Oh, you got an extra.
I got extra. Dude,
Are you willing to sell any?
I'll just fucking give you guys one.
Oh, dude, I'll take
Bro.
a sword for
Right,
sure.
I'm
for
If you
waiting.
free.
do that, our podcast will be forever.
I
in
will
your
give
debt.
you guys a fucking. It'll be more like a ninja sword than a samurai sword. I
That's
got
close
appreciate
enough.
that.
I got one sword that's like actually really nice. That is like a good sword because I was into
Yes.
martial arts for a long time and shit too.
Really?
Yeah. So like I do have one like semi nice sword.
What practice in
I
martial
did-
arts?
Well, I did mostly Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
But I was just
The most
liked
important
weapons.
one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
But I do like know how to use weapons like a little bit, and this sword is not like super nice, but it's just like
It's a sword.
It's better than one of those like ones you get at the mall.
Yeah.
But I have a few other ones that are like just like novelty shits, and I will be more than glad to just give you
Dude,
guys
so
one of those.
are you basically like a lethal weapon?
Yeah.
Don't fuck with.
You'll never
this
need
guy.
security while you're
Don't
on,
fuck with
on
this
the
guy.
road.
No, I won't. I'm usually the security.
You know, I
guard.
practice Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I know how to handle weapons.
No big deal.
Don't fuck with me.
It's already known.
It's
It's already known in the community.
You do have that. You have a vibe too. It's just like that instinct. I just like, yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with them.
Probably a good call.
Yo, so being an '80s baby, a little from Chicago, I see you with the hat. Did Michael Jordan touch your life as a kid?
Yes.
Fuck
Because
yeah.
dude, I was just talking about this the other day. Have you guys seen the fucking
Last Dance?
the
Dude.
Last Dance? Yeah.
Beautiful.
So to me though, what happened was like I told you, my family left Russia in the early '90s, super early '90s. Like we arrived like January 8th, 1990. So like we left in the late '80s actually.
Yeah.
So
Right before I was born.
if you
When was the cold? Like when was the wall shit? Like the Cold War?
it was right around that time.
Late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's when everything fucking that's when the Russia.
So your family
basically
been through
fell
some
apart.
shit.
Nothing like insanely crazy, but like we did like see like the collapse of our fucking homeland just kind of go to shit right in front of us.
What's happening right now?
Yeah, like no, it was way worse than this. It was literally like a shutdown of fucking I mean, it was a different time because of like the way shit's going here, but there. Here it's like all conspiracy theories. Like we're not really sure what the fuck's going on. Like
People were starving to death over there. A lot of them.
yeah. So like here, like we don't
We're starving.
Oh shit! Millions of people starved during Stalin's rule, mostly. But like,
well, this was way after that.
no,
but-
you're right. But here's the thing: like, you're right. I miss
That's a tail end of
that.
it.
That is a misleading statement. But you have people starving because the economy itself is non-existent anymore.
Right.
you know?
What happened was basically like the short of it was the government controlled the economy and the government pretty much just kind of shut down. So the whole economy was fucked up. So people were starving and shit because there was shortages of food and things of that nature. Just basically the whole country just kind of like shut down and everything was kind of fucked up. Like, personally as a kid, I didn't see anything like insanely crazy, like, but we definitwe had to dip. Like, there was,
Skirt. Time to go.
There wasn't shit. But we were getting to the point of like Michael Jordan, the Bulls and stuff. By then, if you watch the Last Dance shit, it touches on the fact that like for the first time, American basketball was like it was a cultural phenomenon like throughout the world. So we already knew about the Bulls and Michael Jordan and shit, and it was already like a whole thing, And now it's like we're moving to Chicago where all this shit is, and then as a kid, basketball was definitely I got into basketball like pretty quickly and shit. Like
Because that was the first really like the huge
Yeah,
worldwide
yeah.
sport. you know?
for sure. Well, at that time, especially,
yeah.
I mean, soccer's the biggest worldwide sport by
Right,
far.
right.
Yeah.
But
Televised
but
from
at that
America.
but at that point, it was like, how could you not want to play basketball and watch the Bulls? This shit is fucking like the most hottest shit ever.
Yeah.
Like moving to Chicago at that point, it had a huge impact on me for sure. I got into basketball like almost right away, and that was my shit up until I started like skateboarding.
You're quite tall.
Yeah, well, I wasn't, dude. I was always short.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of those?
I was always telling everybody I would be tall though, but I was like 5'3".
Manifest.
Freshman year, I was 5'3".
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, what are you, like
That's
6'1"
short.
or
I'm
6'2"?
6'2", yeah.
6'2", yeah. Wow.
Freshman year 5'3" is small
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
Quite short.
Yeah,
I was like
always short
probably
up until
I'm
about my junior
5'10"
year.
now, and I
And
was
it just
probably
hit.
pretty close to that freshman year, 5'8" or 5'9" by then. I haven't grown much since.
I was
you know,
like
honestly.
4'9".
I was
maybe 5
huge.
foot as a freshman.
Dude, Tyler was like a fucking Mr. Universe when he was 14. He showed me this picture. It was fucked up, dude. You're a little bitch now compared to your 14-year-old
Dude,
self.
I was massive. I was so much stronger when I was 14 than I am right now. But I also just make EDM music, and I'm just like sitting in my basement, just like
5
this
foot,
808
like,
sounds
yeah.
sick.
Mom,
As
like-
a freshman.
What were you?
It's just I'm an adult.
What
What were you?
Like 5 foot, 110 pounds as a freshman.
Really? You were a really little guy, huh?
He's
Not
still a
that I'm
little
any
guy in
bigger
some
now,
ways.
So small.
He's so smart.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes. Like when I was never really like huge on working out until I did like I was pretty serious about martial arts for like a good like 3.5 years or so. I was trying to like be an MMA fighter and shit. And fucking I was in fucking like pretty decent shape at that point, but other than that, I've never really like been in any
Yeah.
kind
I was a
of good
state
shape.
champ wrestler.
Yeah, Austin was a
Nice.
state champ wrestler. Dude, my
sucks.
dad and my sister are Kyoko Shin.
Brick
black
the
belts.
Rick.
Yeah, dude. You mean-
Dope.
yeah, dude. He's
I went
a
to
killer.
state in wrestling as in junior high, and then I got into a car accident that fucked up my back, so I got qualified for it, but I never
I'm
went.
glad you're okay.
That
It wasn't
sucks.
it wasn't that bad. It just happened like right at that time where you know.
I'm glad you wrestled though. That's
Yeah,
dope.
I did. And then when I started doing jujitsu and shit, it definitely came into play.
I'm trying to get these fucking fools into jiu-jitsu.
I got hands though.
I bought a book.
That don't mean shit if you ain't got that takedown defense, bitch.
I got some decent defense. No, but
No,
the
you
thing
don't.
is, no, but if you're in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, compared to a striker, you'll get fucked up if you're
I'm
just
actually,
get wrapped up like a fucking little spider.
I'm a
dude.
Gracie jiu-jitsu black belt.
That's sick.
No, I'm
I mean,
definitely
it's just
not.
that everything
Did you
you're
get
not
so
supposed
you were
to do in wrestling.
you said you want to get
person
into
and do
UFC
it.
shit, being from Chicago. Like I got in a lot of fights.
Me too.
Especially that's what I was gonna
I got
ask.
into a
That's
lot of fights.
yeah. Did you get a lot of fights back in the day?
Yeah, I got
You
into
know.
a lot of fights when I was a kid, and then as like in my 20s, I actually got into a lot of fights too.
Same.
We were just kind of rowdy as fuck for a while, and that was part of the thing I kind of like left behind there too.
Likewise.
It just wasn't. It
It's
just
very
wasn't fun.
just
I hate getting
it's the
hit.
atmosphere, man. It's just
Pussy.
I felt like
Well,
I'm-
Chicago for sure, dude.
I'm chill, but like I came out here, like I felt Chicago here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I talk to somebody, like I'm here and they're here, no matter what. And I won't even be like aggressive, but I'm just joking. Like when I've being from Chicago to a certain like spiciness to yourself. You know,
So
and
that to me, that definitely was a thing that I come off as like abrasive sometimes and shit, but I like to fuck around. But like,
that's being from Chicago.
but like a lot of by the time I moved here, a lot of the homies I had already known me and shit, so it was a little bit easier. But that's definitely a real ass thing out here because people are just like really chill, which is good.
Yeah.
But like sometimes because I come from like. Where I come from, all my homies, all we did was talk shit all fucking day.
Yep, that's how
All
I grew up.
Same.
All fucking day. Like that was just like all like anything you did that was
Yeah.
like in any manner like worthy of being made fun of, it was getting
Yeah.
shit on all day. Like
Oh,
it was
of course.
just like and it wasn't like we
Yeah.
Wait, dude, are you eating a salad?
Dude, I've
anything.
I've honestly
Loser.
I've gained a lot of new friends here moving here 2 years ago, but I've honestly lost a lot of people, or people just think I'm a dick when I'm just talking shit, But like,
yeah.
there's a hypersensitivity here.
There is.
And Chicago,
You're an asshole.
you could talk shit all
But
day.
you're a huge
Nobody
asshole,
gives a
Tyler.
fuck.
Yeah, Tyler, you're the biggest asshole I've ever met.
maybe the weed will chill him out, man. Turn him into a
If I
Colorado
were to eat a
hippie.
fat asshole, it would be
No,
smaller
but
than
honestly,
yours.
it's just people just take things too serious too.
Some
And that's
people
the thing.
do. Some people do.
It's compared to Chicago,
Oh, for
the
sure. But
dichotomy of it is
yeah, that's
insane.
what I'm saying. But you got to kind of like read the room.
People are just too
I know how
stoned
to.
here. They're
No,
chill
but
as
like,
fuck.
no, I could read a rude, but if I'm just like, I just literally joke like
A girl
Up
told
front.
a girl told Tyler she didn't want to go on a date with him because of his opinions. What a bitch.
What a pussy.
Oh my god. Okay, so she said.
Well, I mean, if she doesn't like the way you think, she's probably not gonna fucking want to sit there and talk to you over
That's
like
true.
over fucking.
Vice versa,
whatever it
motherfucker. I don't want to talk to her ass either.
I just want to fuck.
Well, you might want to date
No.
another girl
I'm
then.
Tyler
Huh?
Fortune.
Exactly.
I'm part of
I realized that
Cavemen,
when she said
and
that.
I fuck.
She said I don't like. She said I don't like your opinions on Black Lives Matter. And the thing I said about Black Lives Matter was, when there's riots like this, it's a very destructive thing. So people may damage a business that is black owned. And that is the only thing I said. And people just fucking hear things in their fucking hypersensitive minds.
Filter it through their
childhoods, and they start spewing out shit before they even like
Well-
give me a charitable realization, because she knows me, and you have to give charitable
Well, some people
analysis.
don't actually want to talk about anything. They just want to fucking like say what they think, and then just like stick with that. You know what I'm saying? Because like
That's a problem with
and
today.
Also, like there's some people that are super sensitive to where like you even mention anything without, and then soon as like
Just the subject of
just
it.
exactly like they hear a subject of it, and before you have a chance to even like express what it is that you're trying to express, they're already offended because they think for some reason you shouldn't be speaking on it or whatever.
Yes, and that's
So
what she
just-
that's what she
You
did
know,
though
I mean,
to me.
I'm all into like, I mean, if we're gonna talk about some serious shit, I'm all into hearing, what everybody has to say. Kind of, I have my opinions on shit, of course, and some things like I wouldn't stray from, but some things, you gotta. If you have new information, you have to be able to.
You can be open-minded
you know,
to it.
Yeah, if
But
you can't be-
the intensity of your reaction though is like you'll like chill and listen to somebody, but there's a lot of people I meet, like that girl, she'll hear that one subject, and just the fact I'm talking about it just like jumps on it, and it's very intense, and that is not how the way we can handle
people,
things.
some people are just wired like that, kind of. I feel like where they just get super intense about shit. I guess you just like use more emotion than like logic.
We had
with
one
shit
of
like
our
that.
Yeah, and that's a
quote-unquote
problem in
friends
today,
say
though.
that we should be
Oh, for
canceled
sure.
as artists.
That's a problem
because of
today.
something, because it was just like, in one ear, through their childhood experience, through what they thought they heard, and then out
Well,
Start
they've
talking
heard,
shit, and you're
it's
not like thinking like,
it's like-
you're not thinking like, oh, I know
It's
Tyler. Maybe let me
Well, I
just
think,
listen
dude,
to what he
I
said.
Process the
I think with
situation.
all the shit that's going on, like in just any subject that is just is a serious matter, everything should be just like logically fucking discussed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what.
There's no
Don't jump
discussion.
to
I the only like you're like using shit like racism, for instance. Like, yes, like racism, there's no that shit's bullshit. That's wrong. Like, there's no gray area with shit like that. You know what I mean? But like
Right.
other things, there's definitely like gray areas of like where like people, you could be like, all right, like this is what I believe, but I do actually see your point a little.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, like I said, like some things there's not. Like if you're a racist and I'm not, there's no way you're gonna make me see your fucking point.
Exactly.
But same the other way around. If you're this fucking racist KKK motherfucker, it's gonna be very hard for me to change your mind. Like, is it possible? Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's not very fucking likely.
Have you seen what's his name that converted all the KKK members?
Yes. Yeah. I did. I see.
Daryl Davis,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say the gray area that does exist is that people will, for instance, I fucking think Trump is an idiot. I think I always have to preface this: Trump sucks ass, blah blah blah. I would never vote for him, but I know a lot of people that did, and a lot of people that are very close to me, and a lot of people. Oh, he voted for him. He is a racist. And I know for a fact these people are not racist.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And so what people have their image of what they want other people to be, and it's just not always that simple. It's just a lot.
No.
more
Well, that's what I'm
complicated,
saying. That's the same.
Yeah, you're agreeing with
and,
that.
and,
No,
and,
totally.
well, people like, I mean, people like on the more liberal left type shit tend to do that as well, because it's the same. It's kind of the same thing. Like it's like saying that like, some stupid fucking like shit that Republicans say or whatever. We're just like, all fucking millennials don't have jobs or some stupid
Right.
shit.
Something very unfounded and
it's like
ignorant, yeah.
it's like that's fucking stupid.
Right.
It's like you all
Yeah.
live in your mom's basement and fucking eat avocado toast and shit.
Yeah,
and none of you have jobs, even though like the fucking whole goddamn tech industry is run by fucking like millennials.
Very
and
good
shit.
point.
Or
Also,
whatever,
we were talking about
But-
you look at statistics on the dollar buying power back in our parents' generation, the baby boomer generation, compared to now, like the average wage versus the average cost of a house and things like that. We're fucked, dude. It's way more expensive.
Well,
for
that's
us
a-
right
yeah,
now.
that-
'90s,
that's
I think,
like-
was the most rich time to live. I think compared to what
90s
you
is
made
pretty
versus
big.
to what it costed. It was
90s is
either the
really
80s or
good because 70
90s.
was fucked with gas.
Yeah, it was the
There was
80s
a
or
bit-
90s.
or-
versus
70s.
what you made
There's
versus
the,
what shit
gas
cost. It was
shortage.
the
Nothing
richest
like
time to
19
live.
or 2007.
Yeah, that was bad.
$4.50 a gallon.
No,
dude.
that was bad too. That was
fucked
And
bad
a
up.
gallon
too.
of milk
No,
now
but
is
it
like
was pretty bad back then
$5.
too.
I don't know. I never heard of this.
Huh?
Never heard of this.
What?
I'm probably just not unfamiliar.
No, there was a.
What are you talking about? Like the
gas gouging in the 70s.
70s.
No,
there
the
was a
70s. There's a
crisis.
gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when like fucking like there was basically like a gas shortage and shit.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Before
I
that,
wonder if it's because of. I'm trying to figure out what may have been the reason.
I don't. I think it was a bunch
was
of
that
shit.
the start of automobiles? Maybe like.
Well,
based-
No, the fucking 70s was not the start of automobiles.
I mean, like
my
the
guy.
real, like I meant like the real start of like the kickoff of automobiles and shit.
No, here's
Wasn't it like the 40s or 50s though? Like
No, that was okay. Hey, I don't know shit about a lot of
That was like the
subjects either,
1910s
but
and
I would
20s.
guess
Oh,
10s
right.
and 20s, like
no,
you know,
the reason what happened was
like the what's the one that's a famous Ford car from like the 1920s?
Yeah,
the Model T.
I like
the
how
Model
we've been,
T, yeah.
we've been
My
dogging
grandpa made one of
motherfuckers.
those.
Those are
no,
dude,
no.
my buddy.
What happened in the gas crisis
But, like,
was back before that.
What would cause
Gas
so
was
much gas then?
because there was a short.
That would be a huge start of cars, I feel like, back then. Cars didn't fucking... Yeah, we had cars in 1910 and 1920 and shit,
Sorry,
but
that
like,
was so
But,
no
yo,
one was driving
by the
like they
by the
are
70s
today.
we had tall
The
cars.
50s,
They were
the 50s, everybody was driving. The
Every-
40s, everybody
this
was
might
driving.
help.
I feel
Everybody
like
was.
horses and shit were
This-
still a thing. Fuck.
Where the fuck were you living?
Horses and
Macomb.
You
doo-duggies.
weren't living any fucking where in 1970 for one.
Not 1970 were horses, but like 50s.
We're talking the gas shortage happened in the 70s.
Yeah, the 70s. So wouldn't that
Yeah,
like be like
yeah.
the huge start of fucking
I think
cars?
this will help a lot.
Like,
no,
This will
what?
help a lot. The highway. I forgot which president pushed to build our highway system.
Which would be the huge start of fucking cars because there's more highways.
No, listen. There was a huge push to build our highways, which was like it cost as much money to build our highways in this country as it did to go to the moon, and this was probably in the 40s or something like that. So yes, cars have been a pretty prominent
Obviously,
thing
cars
for a
have
long
been
time.
around, but
Not
when
around.
did,
No,
like,
no.
people
Super
really be able to
prevalent.
afford
Super
them. When
very
everyone
prevalent.
really started
No.
driving.
That yes,
Very-
That's what I mean.
that 40 at least 20s,
No.
30s,
Okay.
40s, yeah.
30s.
Probably 30. And the highways, look up when they built all the highways in the fucking country.
Because
like,
that's when cars
No.
would really fucking
No,
boom, like when all the highways
cars
were
were boomed
maybe even
already,
earlier,
man.
30s or
Cars
some
were
shit.
built early, yes, but not everyone could afford them and shit.
Everybody
That's
had.
what Model T was all
the-
about. It was like
dude,
a
the
affordable
30s,
car.
like a lot of people had
A
cars.
lot of people had cars.
All right.
A shit ton.
Let me
Look up when the highways were
This
built.
shit we were talking about was in the 70s. What happened was before then, the gas crunch, I think, had a lot to do with fucking the Cold War and like our gas suppliers. Like we were thinking, like our oil supplies.
All right.
Our oil supplies were getting
interstate
fucked.
system was
The
born
entire
in 56.
interstate system was 56.
56.
So I was 14 years off. Fuck you. That's not that bad.
By the time the
you guys
entire
are really
the
making
system
fun of
had-
it.
But the
There's a lot of people
really
that had
making
cars.
fun
Fair enough, Austin.
I
I'll give
wasn't
it to you.
fucking
But
like
you weren't that
30,
far
40
off.
years
But
off.
cars were prevalent
The
as fucking
30,
Yes.
but the
They
30s,
just had to
a
travel
lot
on
of people had
shitty
cars.
ass roads.
Yes.
They had shitty
All right.
roads.
Anyways,
So I'm not as dumb as what I thought I was.
by the
Touche.
by the 1970s, everybody had a fucking car.
That's very true.
And then the gas crunch happened. Is what happened. What basically killed the muscle cars because those bitches.
10 miles a gallon.
Yeah, and they were all huge and shit, so everything was fucked. But gas was like fucking 8 cents a gallon and shit, so nobody gave a fuck. And then when the gas crunch happened, they were like, all right.
I want to say the first
Will
part
you
of this
look up what it
podcast
was
was
like?
pretty good, but the second part is really ramped
Yeah.
up, and I like it.
It's interesting.
Dude,
What-
how
what's-
long have we been
yo-
going already? Like 2 hours?
We've probably.
Yo, wait. Time out.
Um,
Look what caused this gas crisis in
hours.
the
2 hours
1970s.
so
since
far.
none
Holy
of us
shit.
are actually like 100%.
The lack
Yo,
of
sure.
Let's keep it going.
What's your favorite, like, old car? Old muscle car? or whatever
So you
car.
don't like
Whatever
American,
car.
you like
I'm
the
not really.
Japanese
I'm
shit.
not really.
That's a new shit though.
Konnichiwa,
That's a new shit. Do you like any
Ohio gozaimasu.
older
Austin is learning
foreign
Japanese.
cars?
Yeah, like
Almost
I would
arigato.
I would definitely fuck with
Thank
like
you.
a suit, like an older Skyline, like the ones like before, like that,
Skyline.
like the ones even like the '70s ones and shit. Like the first GTRs were pretty dope. What's crazy about those actually is like they're so rare and valuable that like you can't even get them out of Japan. Like the Yakuza
Gotta find the
won't
ones that
let
were
you
the steering
fucking.
wheels on the right.
I have a car like that actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's awesome.
Yeah, I have
wanna
one.
buy one like that.
I have a 1991 Mitsubishi Terna VR4. It's one of only 2 in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, it's a right-hand drive car. I have
So
one.
is that worth a lot then? I'm
It's not
assuming?
worth that much. It's probably worth about 10 or 12 grand.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy.
But that's still dope. That's one of 2.
yeah, it's super rare.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are you fags doing over there?
Sorry, I'm punching Tyler because he's into it because he's a weirdo.
You guys are always doing some weird shit.
I'm not a
it's
weirdo.
Tyler's
I just
fault.
like
Both of you.
dark
Well,
arts.
shit, boys, let's wrap this up in a little bit. I'll be
Yeah, I
more
think
than
it's
glad to
about
come and
time.
do another one.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, yeah,
fucking
we're good.
wasted.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, that was great, dude. Yo, hold on, before we go, always like to ask our guests, where can anyone that's listening find your music, internet, all
And
that
yeah,
shit?
any last minute
Since
thoughts
July.
on your music? What you want to tell
all
people?
my shit is at since July, like like it's Spotify or Instagram or whatever the fuck
You
else.
spell July different though.
Yes, it's Juleye.
Since Juleye.
Like your fucking eyes.
Bro, thank you so much for coming. This was super
Appreciate
fun.
it,
Great
sure, boys.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yo, hold on. Let's all touch in the middle, and it'll be like Captain Planet.
Boom.
Yo,
We should play the Bulls theme song to close it off.
you're gonna have to definitely edit that in.
We can like add it in like in the background behind our fucking
Hold on, everyone go like
intro
this.
song.
Ready? You guys aren't doing it.
That's kind of
Yo, don't forget to follow
Deuces.
us.
privileged caveman.
Privileged Cavemen. We're now on Apple Podcast too.
Apple
so follow us on
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
If you can't read, if you're blind, it's
Leave us a
Look at
message. Tell us if you like us or don't like us. We like to hear either way.
we don't give a fuck.
No, I care. I want to hear what you care.
That's to be liked. I mean, don't fucking wrap me into your unlikable shit. If anybody
Just
doesn't
kidding.
like me because of this, I'm gonna
Just
be pissed.
kidding. Everyone's gonna like you. You're the man. All right, love you
No,
guys.
we
Peace.
care.